You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the parents of a Belmont student killed by a stray bullet are speaking out. We're going to tell you what they say. They could have the one thing that could have prevented their daughter's death and the role they are going to be playing moving forward.
And the move to reject or not reject the $1.8 billion in federal education funds.
Forecast for us, keeping it on the drier side. Unfortunately, rain chances continue to go down and down. The one day we have a good chance for rain coming up in your forecast. Justin?
All right, Greg, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. It's November the 15th, a Wednesday morning, and I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to begin this morning with the parents of Jillian Ludwig. They will be laying their daughter to rest coming up on Friday near their home in New Jersey. She, of course, was the Belmont University freshman killed by a stray bullet last week while walking in a park near campus. Now, Metro Police have charged Shaquille Taylor for shooting the bullet that killed that 18-year-old. A few months ago, 29-year-old Taylor had been found incompetent to stand trial for aggravated assault. His charges were dismissed and he was released back into society. Jillian's parents are now pushing state lawmakers to close a loophole that allows dangerous people found incompetent to walk free.
We haven't heard much, but we've heard about his rap sheet, and we know that it was just unthinkable that, he shot a teenager and he shot at a mother and her children and was still on the street to shoot my little girl in the middle of the day. So there's a failure, there's a breakdown in the system, and it really, there's no excuse for it.
Now, Matt and Jessica Ludwig says they will be at Shaquille Taylor's future court hearings and his trial as well. We will be there too. We'll let you know exactly what happens. But we want to know what you think. Should it be easier to commit someone who's a danger to themselves and others? Our poll says right now, 85 or 87.5% of you say yes, 12% of you say no. Only around 270 people have voted so far. If you want to be among them, you can go to our Twitter page, X page. You can find us at Fox Nashville.
4:03, a look at your COVID forecast on a Wednesday, getting closer and closer to the week. I'm right in that middle gap here where it comes to the forecast changing day by day toward the weekend. We're calm and cool for today and tomorrow. Actually, a little bit above average today and tomorrow. Not a bad stretch of weather, but we need rain badly, so I put this little guy right there. That's going to be me on Friday. When the rain's coming down, I might actually walk outside and let myself get rained on. If we do end up seeing even a little bit of it may be only a few tenths of an inch worth of rain, but it's our best chance we've seen in weeks. Holiday travel, not going to be a problem in the Nashville area. Now, we'll find pockets across the country if you have people coming into town or you're leaving town going somewhere else that we'll monitor, but Monday and Tuesday, scattered rain shower. That's not going to slow you down, so don't worry about widespread issues when it comes to our specific airport. Taking a look, 68 degrees, your temperature today, 72 tomorrow, and we do get comfortably cool, very fall-like feels going into Saturday and Sunday with nighttime temperatures that will be you're going to be using the heat. We're going to be in the 30s here on Friday night and Saturday night.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning as we take a look at what we're dealing with. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike. I was going to say look for the traffic this afternoon closer to the airport. That is because as we get closer and closer to the Thanksgiving holiday, the travel times at our airports are going to become more and more unpredictable. Right now, though, we're looking fine as you get out and about this morning. We'll let you know about anything that does get in your way. Steer clear traffic live and local with you through 9. Well, the debate continues this morning as to whether or not the state of Tennessee should reject $1.8 billion in federal education money. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is live at the Capitol with more after a task force meeting on Tuesday. Kylie, what did they say?
House Speaker Cameron Sexton, this task force was put together, comprised of state representatives and senators.
All right, we'll get right back to Kylie as soon as she's got that microphone issue all figured out. In the meantime, nearly 40 workers say their pay was cut short. We're going to tell you how it's igniting a group to advocate for workers' protection and get the folks their pay as they are trying to get out there and work. Plus, Metro Nashville police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened on the south side of town. The unusual circumstances following that shooting, that's coming up.
These
4:08 is the time in Operation Crime and Justice. Metro police are investigating a deadly shooting. They say this is after the victim was shot. He drove to a BP gas station on Old Hickory Boulevard, got out of his car, and asked for help. He then collapsed on the ground outside of his car. Police say he later died. They did not release any information on a suspect in this case. We'll continue to follow it. Let's talk to Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast here as we're beginning on a very cool but calm morning here as we continue to wait and watch and hope for rain.
Yeah, and this is the thing, Justin. All week we've been talking about, which days can we get rain? We really do need it badly. And the rain chances for today and tomorrow have kept going down every time I've been watching the weather and what could happen. Friday's our best chance, and we're not going to get a lot. Maybe a tenth or two of an inch worth of rain. Now, that's not a ton. That is not going to put a dent in our drought of 8 inches behind where we should be this time of the year. But even a little bit of rain will cool the atmosphere a bit. It'll help out with our fall allergies that are still out there, and it will give us a little calming feeling. Taking a look at your forecast going forward. Nothing on visibility tracker right now. I do anticipate a little fog picking up here going in toward the later stages of the morning, so we'll watch that for you. Your bus stop forecast, 49 degrees at 5 o'clock, 49 at 6, and 51 at 7. What this tells you is when the kids head to the bus stop, it will be in the upper 40s to low 50s across the board the entire morning with no rain. I will track that next weather maker for Friday coming up in the next check of your forecast. Stick with us right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Justin.
Steer clear traffic out there for you at around 410. Here's a quick look at I-24 Waldron Road as you make that drive out there from Laverne this morning. We're doing okay so far out there on the roads as we check in with our various sources around the Middle Tennessee area as far as our traffic is concerned. No major tie-ups out there. We're doing just fine. Also, the same can be said over near the airport. This is I-40 at Dallas and Pike. As you can see, people jumping off that exit just fine out there. Normally, it's Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays are the biggest problems at the airport. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you. Well, the debate continues this morning as to whether or not the state of Tennessee should reject $1.8 billion in federal education funding. Let's get out to Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live at the Capitol, where they have been debating this on a task force for a few weeks.
Hey, Justin, at the request of House Speaker Cameron Sexton, a task force was put together. This is an education task force comprised of state senators and representatives to consider whether or not Tennessee should reject approximately $1.8 billion in federal funding. Now, some Republicans believe that Tennessee should reject federal funding for education because the feds have too many restrictions on how children are educated. Now, others believe this money is necessary to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. In a meeting on Tuesday, there was lots of talk about how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants.
We recognize and appreciate the legislative panel's task with researching the impact of federal funds. It's important when we're providing a snapshot, we also take a deep dive into the most important assets of our state students. Federal funds support over 1 million or close to 1 million students annually.
And later this morning, community members and educators will get together in order to respond to these task force meetings. This will be at 11 a.m. at Cordell Hall. We'll have more of these updates later this morning, and we do plan to have a team there as well. For now, live at the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Celebrations at the holidays can be challenging for those with addiction. I'm Liz Bonus. A few simple steps that might make a difference for you or someone you love. We share it just ahead.
Before 4:14 is the time. Nearly 40 local construction companies and workers have claimed that they are owed around $50,000 for work that they did in Germantown. Now, a workers' rights organization is calling on local and state governments to help pass laws to better protect workers. Now, workers' rights organizations, they call themselves Workers' Dignity, says that other states have stricter laws for wage theft. 37 carpenters working on a project at the Rome building say they have not been properly paid since February. They say they are owed for weeks' worth of work and overtime. One Workers' Dignity volunteer explained to us that if the contractors decides to not pay the workers, there are just no consequences out there.
We've asked for direct calls to accountability around the Rome building that have gone unreturned in the way of like an actual response, like an actual call to action.
Well, Fox 17 News reached out to the developer. Their name is Greenpoint. The contractor associated construction, as well as the subcontractor Elevate Concrete, for a response, but we did not hear back from any of them. Well, Workers' Dignity plans to go to the site of this particular project on November the 18th to try and speak with some of the workers and spread awareness about this issue. Well, if you or someone you love recently got sober, there's a few extra steps that can help with continued success. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares what recovery that counselors are recommending.
Hey there, hello to you. The holidays can be a trying time for those struggling with addiction, and those who've been there know what it takes. It took a while, but Aaron Lane says after being addicted to alcohol and drugs,
I got sober during the holidays. This is a heavily impactful time for people, getting in family gatherings, the stress of all of that. But it's also the best time to get sober.
Kate Dawes agrees.
I struggled off and on for about 15 years with drug and alcohol addiction. I regained custody of my children. I went through a lot of holidays where I was not sober, and then quite a few where I have been.
Now, both Aaron and Kate have been sober for several years and work in recovery here at Ohio's DeCoach Rehabilitation Center.
So we make ourselves available to people as these holidays are happening, and we answer our phone. It's 24 hours a day. We are always available. We know we need to be available because these are higher risk times for individuals.
Their first suggestion for sobriety this holiday season?
To have realistic expectations. I showed up at my family Christmas party expecting everyone to celebrate that I was sober, and there should be no alcohol, and there should be, all sins should be forgiven. And that really set me up for failure.
Their second suggestion, take a friend with you to family gatherings to keep you accountable, or have a safety plan.
So you should have a way to leave, a way to stay if things become too much.
Finally, they say if you want to support someone in sobriety, don't be afraid to bring up triggers such as serving alcohol at holiday get-togethers.
Really, it comes down to the family. At the end of the day, if I'm going to drink, you having it there is not, it may be a trigger, but at the same time, my recovery is not kind of a judgment call on what you're doing.
We do have links online for you to call or find out more information if you need help right now. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Liz. Well, you may want to shine up that bundt pan and heat up your oven because today is National Bundt Cake Day. Now, this delicious holiday happens each and every November the 15th. The dessert gets its very distinct form from the shape of a bundt pan. According to the nationaldaycalendar.com, the mold of the pan was inspired by a traditional European fruit cake. So that's how bundt cakes were created. Who knew? Rick Bobus, I'm sure, was going to tell us about it.
Look at you stealing my thunder here this morning.
It's not me. It's the nice people who write the news here for us.
I love it because, you need a reason every day to find something to do or go get to make your day a little bit better, especially in the middle of the week. I mean, think about it. On Wednesday, we haven't had rain in who knows how long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a hot second since we've had anything. So, get yourself a bundt cake. And nothing bundt cakes is great, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Lots of locations, very tasty.
They're very tasty. Taking a look here at your forecast. Waking up this morning, we have, now this is deceiving, but Justin, you and I know this. Every morning, well, overnight into the morning, they go out there and they just hose down whatever happened. And probably the night before. That's what happened. So we did not have rain, and we're not going to have much today and tomorrow. Friday's our best chance for some rain. Right side of your screen, our current temperatures are in the upper 40s and lower 50s, so we're actually very warm for this time of the year when it comes to our code red threat level. All eyes are on Friday. And by all eyes, even if it's just my eyes, they're on Friday for our best chance for rain. 7-day forecast, not going to hide it. Let's just get right to it. The best chance for rain is going to be on Friday. Now, I do not want to oversell this. It's very easy to be that salesman that goes, this is going to be a great day for rain. No, maybe 1/10 or 2/10 of an inch worth of rain on Friday, but every little drop helps when you're in a drought like we are right now.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a good look at I-24. This is Hickory Hollow Parkway. As you make that drive out there from the Antioch area, we're doing just fine right now. The problem is it's right now. It's 4:20 in the morning. The question is what happens later at 6:20, 7:20. That is when we start to see the huge, massive backups that can turn this ordinary drive right now into a drive that can easily last an hour and 20 minutes or so coming in from I-24. We're going to continue to watch the roads here for you and let you know about anything that jumps in your way. And the Fox 17 News investigates a grandmother continues to fight for the custody of her grandchildren. Now, she claims the woman in charge of their care is not treating them well. Now, this comes as the Department of Children's Services is placing an emphasis on keeping children with relatives. That's why Elizabeth Buchanan says that she doesn't understand why a judge refuses to give her custody of her two grandchildren.
They were being mistreated, not being fed. They were sleeping on the floor. No money was being spent on them as far as clothes.
A spokesperson for the Davidson County Juvenile Court tells us that while these records are confidential, the court takes all allegations of child abuse or neglect very seriously. A spokesperson for DCS says an investigation is underway. Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chen brings you this grandmother's story of trying to get her grandchildren back. Well, Metro Police say a suspect is in custody after a deadly shooting that took place on Monday night. We're going to tell you the charges that man is facing. And dozens of dogs rescued from a hoarding situation in South Central Kentucky. Look at those faces. We're going to tell you where these dogs were taken to recover. Watch Fox. 4:24 is the time here on this Wednesday morning. A breaking news update that we want to bring to you as Metro Police say they've arrested a man after they are charging him with the death of a woman outside of an Opryland area hotel. They claim that 33-year-old Danilo Allen, you see him right here, is now being charged with criminal homicide. Officers found him trying to break into a car at another mid-state motel. He had a shovel in his hand. Now, police say that Allen got into a fight with the victim as she pulled into the Ramada Inn on Music Valley Drive. This happened around 6 o'clock on Monday. They believe Allen and the victim actually knew each other. Police say that the victim is a 45-year-old woman, but they have not released her name. Allen is facing a number of other charges, including 3 counts of assaulting a police officer, attempted vehicle theft, and resisting arrest. In your community this morning, fans of country singer and songwriter Miranda Lambert helped to raise more than $7,100 for the Metro Animal Control and Care on Friday. They say that Lambert is claiming that the funds were raised during the flash sale of 70 pairs of cowboy boots at the Casa Rosa, the singer's Tex-Mex bar and restaurant that's located in downtown Nashville. She says that she sold the boots out in only 1 hour. So a flash boot sale raised a lot of money for a worthy cause.
The guilt settles in, Justin, because they were all the exact same size and they were all size 8. And as the fiance is watching the news later in the day, goes, "Did you know about this?" And I said, "Yeah, she's a size 8. She goes, "You should have got me boots." I'm like, "Well, now we got to find you some boots." Taking a look here. For your weekend, you're going to see a lot of people wearing boots downtown on Saturday and Sunday. That's for sure. As people come into town for every single event they have, bachelorette parties, weddings, whatever it might be. 61 degrees, your temperature on your Saturday. 63 will be the temperature on Sunday, and both days will be dry. I've been telling you every day, kind of like a broken record, that we are in desperate need of any rain we can get. Friday is our best chance. We'll time it out for you coming up in our 4:30 half hour.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to it here on I-40 near Spence Lane over on the east side of town. As you can see, traffic moving along in both directions without any problems. We're doing just fine out there so far this morning. If something does jump up, we'll be sure to let you know, but the traffic will really start to build coming up here as we move towards our 5 and really 6 o'clock hour is when things kick into high gear. We're new this morning. The Animal Rescue Corps says that dozens of dogs are safe after they were rescued from a hoarding and breeding operation in South Central Kentucky. The group says they responded to a request from the Hart County Animal Control yesterday as they helped nearly 60 large dogs, including puppies, only a few weeks old, find a new place to go. Now, we're told that the puppies and their mothers in particular have been placed into foster homes for right now. The remaining dogs are still recovering at the ARC's Rescue Center over in Gallatin. Well, Tennessee lawmakers are chiming in after a Belmont University student was killed by a stray bullet. I'm going to tell you why one lawmaker says a bill recently tabled by the state Senate may have helped to save her life.
And coming up, the debate continues on whether or not the state should reject $1.8 billion in federal education dollars.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a controversial mid-state alderman resigns. We're going to tell you when. She gave her notice to the city of Franklin.
And we are waking up this morning watching for the possibility of a little bit of fog, not out there just yet. Cool temperatures, but we have a little warm up and we're trying to find rain, but the rain chances keep going down, Justin.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-65 at Trinity Lane. There on the north side, things are okay now, but they won't be okay later. We'll tell you more about that as the morning goes on. Well, thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. It is a Wednesday morning, November the 15th. I'm Justin McFarland. We do have a Fox 17 News alert to bring to you this morning. The controversial Franklin alderwoman Gabrielle Hansen is no longer on the job. According to an announcement made during the meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen overnight, Hansen resigned her position. Now, she resigned her position on Monday. The group had been in a meeting to discuss a possible censure of Hansen, but the alderman says that it was no longer possible because, well, Hansen had resigned. Additionally, Hansen's profile has already been removed from the city of Franklin's website. Of course, Hansen ran for mayor, unsuccessful in that attempt. We're new this morning in crisis in the classroom. State lawmakers are now meeting with the Department of Education to talk about the possibility of trying to remove $1.8 billion worth of federal funding and what that would do to students across the mid-state and beyond. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker live at the Capitol with some of the issues they talked about.
State lawmakers have different opinions as to whether or not Tennessee should reject the federal education dollars. Well, this is why House Speaker Cameron Sexton put together a task force to dig into the idea. While some Republicans believe Tennessee should reject federal funding for education due to too many restrictions from the federal government to how children are educated, others say that the money is needed to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. In a meeting Tuesday, state leaders discussed how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants, with lawmakers questioning the Department of Education.
If we decide to do this, do you think that we're going to have to give up everything in funding, or can we pick and choose what we want to take funding for and not take funding for?
To be honest with you, that's still a little bit up in the air. It's hard to predict. I would assume that most of the grant funds that are bundled together under like ESEA, for example, are probably going to maintain bundled together.
Now at Cordell Hall at 11 a.m. later this morning, educators and community members will gather in order to respond to some of these task force meetings. Now we will have our crews there and we'll have updates when they become available. For now, live at the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:33, look at your COVID forecast. The big weather story is that we are calm and cool for the next couple of mornings here. The afternoons actually a little bit above average. Tomorrow might get above 70 degrees with some sunshine. However, rain is the big thing. We've been talking about it for weeks now at this point. We need it. We've got a little bit of it. Couple of Friday showers. That's why he's smiling for you here this morning. And then holiday travel should not be a problem. We'll talk more about what we can expect here locally, and then try to find any areas that are away from here. Maybe you have relatives coming into town. We're a big transplant city when it comes to folks moving here, so we'll try to look at everywhere across the country when it comes to your holiday travel. Right now, just know we didn't have rain overnight, so we're driving down Broadway. That's just the normal just get the stuff off the road thing that happened last night. 68 degrees later on this afternoon. Right now, we're in the upper 40s and low 50s to kick off your Wednesday.
Still clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's go to I-40 at White Bridge Road. A couple of trucks over there sleeping on the sidewalk there. Don't want to disturb them. They've got lots of goods to deliver to someone over in the western part of Tennessee or the western part of the country. I-40 runs from here all the way out to parts of the west that I promise you'd be surprised to see an I-40 sign in some of the locations where the interstate stretches to. But nonetheless, calm traffic back here in Nashville. We are glad to see that. We'll let you know about anything that does get in your way in West Nashville or beyond. Continuing coverage as state lawmakers are now calling for some action in the upcoming session to try and prevent what happened to Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig from happening to anyone else. Lawmakers in the House passed a bill that they say may have prevented that student's death, but the Senate tabled that particular plan. Now, under the current Tennessee law, doctors can commit someone if they are an immediate threat to themselves or others. Lawmakers wanted to change that word from immediate to imminent.
Current law allows law enforcement to detain a person when they are in an immediate threat to themselves or to others. This bill changes the word immediate to imminent, and this expands the ability of law enforcement to handle these acute situations. Immediate threat means occurring at that instant, and imminent means is something that is about to happen.
Now keep in mind that debate that you just saw happened back in August when the state was in a special session. House Speaker Cameron Sexton says if this bill had passed, it could have saved Jillian Ludwig's life. Senate leadership disagrees. Members of both chambers say they will take up mental health and gun rights in the next legislative session that will begin in January. A clash on Capitol Hill. We're going to break down how things turned physical between a Tennessee representative and his California counterpart. We'll be right back.
Track storms. Download the...
In political news this morning, a confrontation between the former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, and the Tennessee Congressman, Tim Burchett, gets physical. Watch this.
I was standing in the hall doing an interview with her, and Kevin McCarthy walked by, and he elbowed me in the kidneys as he walked by.
Did you elbow him?
Okay, no, I did not elbow him. No, I would not elbow him. I would not hit him in a kidney.
Okay, so you're hearing both sides from both of the people involved here. Adding to the dispute is Representative Burchett says he does not think this was an accident.
Felt it was on purpose and not an accident.
Oh, 100% on purpose, man. What are the chances? 435 members of Congress, 8 of us voted against him. I'm the one who did it. I'm one of them that did it, and he's publicly called me out. You know.
I did not run and hit the guy. I did not kidney punch him. I did not shoot anything like that.
You didn't shove him?
No.
Okay, so one thing the two lawmakers agreed on is what happened next.
You chased after him?
Yeah, I did. Because I really didn't know what was going on. I turned around, and I see him scurrying away. And so I just, and then I followed in pursuit, I guess you would say.
And he comes running up like, why did you hit me or something like that? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even know something transpired.
No word yet on exactly whether or not Congressman Burchett intends to file any charges against McCarthy. By the way, when the two men approached each other, keep in mind that the former Speaker of the House does have a security detail that makes sure that he remains safe and sound at all times.
4:41 on a Wednesday morning, working you through your forecast. So we're going to give you some positive news this morning to get you up, get you moving, get you motivated to work through your day. Up 49 degrees, temperature up 5 a.m. all the way through 6, and then 7 o'clock, not much of a change. So kids going to the bus stop just like Monday and Tuesday and most of last week. We don't need to have rain here. There is one day where a little bit of rain could be in the forecast for us here, and that is going to be Friday moving forward. But there's nothing that is on radar for us right now. And I wish I could actually tell you, hey, we're going to get a big soaker here that'll help with our drought and help everything moving into the weekend. That is not the case. Our rain chances have almost gone to 0 for today and tomorrow for everyone. And the amount we could see on Friday has gone down significantly since even 24 hours ago. If you were waking up with us at this time, we were going, yes, Friday. Now I'm going, please, Friday? Yeah, it's not as good. We'll look at it in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get to what we are dealing with on I-65 at Trinity Lane. They're on the north side of town. As you can see, traffic moving along just fine in both directions out there. No big problems as you get on the road so far this morning. And that goes from here on the north side and including over on the west side. We're doing fine. Traffic will start to build up a little bit later in the morning. Keep in mind as well, traffic patterns are going to start to change, especially in the next week as more and more people take off for the Thanksgiving holiday. 3 high school students are among the 6 victims of a fiery crash on an Ohio interstate. We're going to tell you what state troopers say caused this chain reaction. And the holiday season is right around the corner. We're going to break down some of the tips from travel experts to try and help you save a little time and money.
Watch Fox 17 News.
4:45 is the time. 6 people were killed and another 18 were hurt, including students. This all happened on a fiery crash in Ohio yesterday. The NTSB says that a semi-truck rear-ended a charter bus that was transporting students from a school in eastern Ohio. 3 of the 6 people killed in that crash were students. Now, the Ohio State Troopers say all vehicles were traveling westbound on Interstate 70 when this chain reaction crash happened. At least 3 vehicles caught fire. Awful scene. In the meantime, a Michigan judge says that former President Donald Trump will stay on Michigan's primary ballot, rejecting a challenge under the Civil War era constitutional clause. Now, some had argued that Trump's role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol meant that he declared himself ineligible to run for president. A judge ruled that because Donald Trump followed the state law for qualifying for the primary ballot, he could not remove the former president. Other states are trying the same, I understand, so we'll see what happens. Well, the James Webb Space Telescope spotted a galaxy that looks like our home here in the Milky Way. The faraway system is now the most distant of its kind ever found. Astronomers say that the system formed soon after the Big Bang created the universe 14 billion years ago, again, according to scientists. They say they were surprised such a well-organized galaxy formed so soon after the Big Bang. The study was published this month in the journal Nature, very popular science journal that lots of scientists read for all kinds of things like this. Let's get to Greg Bobus. He's standing by right now with a look at the forecast. We are wondering if any more rain could be possibly coming here. Greg, what are you doing?
No rain today or tomorrow, but you just gave me my reading assignment for the day, Justin.
Okay.
That galaxy right there. I will give you all the information you need, though, to get up and get out the door here for today, tomorrow. Rain chances have gone close to zero.
Yeah.
That's not good,
No,
unfortunately.
It's not. No, we need the rain.
We need it desperately. We'll find the one chance for it, and we'll do it right now for you. So you know what you could potentially have some rain on your lawn to help you out even a little bit. We got our dog of the day, Cody, first, though, sent in by Terry. And this is a photo from back near 4th of July. That tells you that you all keep sending in your dogs of the day, and I love it. Every day I wake up, I get the stories, I get the photos, but I show them in order of when I get them. And if this is from 4th of July, think about that. August, September, October, November. We're going to get there. They're all going to be here on air. It just might take a couple of days to get, or a couple of weeks at this point to get there. Temperature is going to be in the 60s to right near 70 degrees throughout the entire morning. And then the afternoon will be in the upper 60s, close to 70, kind of just like yesterday. We're kind of a 1, 2, 3 punch here when it comes to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and your forecast. And what you have to do is always the same thing every day. You go up to the Facebook logo right there, and you go find my Facebook page. You find that post pinned at the top. That's how you send your dog of the day in. I will tell you that Friday is our best chance for rain, and your 7-day forecast gets a little warmer, but the weekend looks beautiful, and we'll detail that in a few.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at I-24 near Old Hickory Boulevard out here in the Antioch area. As you can see, traffic moving along in both directions out there. No problems so far on the interstates on 24, on 40, on 65. We're good right now. North, south, east, and west across the midstate. Of course, we got you covered with Steer Clear Traffic live and local with you through 9 o'clock this morning. We are following news from the economy this morning. That is after the United States Postal Service says that they are doing a little bit of a restructuring. Now, yesterday they reported a $6.5 billion net loss over the last 12 months. The report comes as the agency is in the middle of a 10-year restructuring plan with the goal of eliminating losses and trying to turn a profit, something they haven't done in a few years. Now, the plan was introduced 2 years ago. The United States Postal Service is planning a hike in postal rates yet again, marking the 5th such rate they've had since 2021. Thanksgiving and the rest of the holiday season is just around the corner. And for Americans planning on taking that trip to celebrate with friends or loved ones, travel experts say there are some things you should know when booking your flight, your rental car, or your hotel room. Ted Linder takes a closer look at some of the holiday travel advice.
With Thanksgiving next week and Christmas right around the corner, travel and hospitality experts say it's not too early to start planning your trips for the holiday season.
Travel is going to be up this year. We have almost half of Americans planning to travel this holiday season.
AAA estimates more than 55 million people will travel 50 miles or more for Thanksgiving, more than a 2% increase from last year, which would make this the third highest Thanksgiving travel period since AAA began tracking.
We don't have travelers that are concerned with as many health and safety issues. People are traveling farther and longer this season, and that might be a reflection of their confidence in being able to travel without concern.
But with scores of people about to embark on their holiday journeys, Lauren Duffy of Clemson University says your best bet to make travel less hectic is to try and book your trips on off-peak days.
Thanksgiving, because it's a short window of a holiday, always that Wednesday before and Sunday after are your busiest travel days possible by car, by flight. Monday before and Friday after Thanksgiving might actually bring about really great cost savings. The same can be said for Christmas and other holidays this winter.
If your holiday travel will involve a road trip,
gas prices are steady, which is a great sign going into the season. And if you were planning to rent a car, prices are down about 17% from last year.
Finally, when it comes to securing a hotel room,
you need to book that as soon as you possibly can. Right now, prices are good and they look like they'll stay that way for this season.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Well, if you are traveling, maybe you can find a McDonald's somewhere along the road. If you do, maybe be able to wear your Crocs, your McDonald's Crocs, inside the restaurant, because there is a run on the McDonald's brand or themed Crocs. They've got the purple grimace inspired socks and sandals combo, the yellow and pink birdie, along with the Hamburglar. They got all the characters there. The official Crocs can be sold on the website or in person there for Crocs. They're limited time, I would imagine, and you can only find them at certain McDonald's. You can check their website to find out which ones. Well, a grandmother known for accidentally inviting a stranger to her home for Thanksgiving is now welcoming brand new guests. We're going to tell you how you can join her holiday celebration. And new rules for YouTube content creators. What could happen if they violate the company's new artificial intelligence guidelines?
Fox 17 News.
4:55 is the time. A grandmother known for accidentally inviting a stranger to Thanksgiving dinner is now opening up her home to a few more guests in this year. Now, Wanda Dench from Arizona came to fame when she accidentally invited Jamal Hinton to Thanksgiving. This happened back in 2016. Thinking she was texting her grandson, Hinton has attended Thanksgiving dinner with her each and every year since then. And this time, she's teaming up with Airbnb to invite even more people. Now, she is known on the internet as the Thanksgiving Grandma and is looking for 2 guests to eat with her and Hinton on November 20th out in Prescott Valley, Arizona. We'll ask Jen later where that is exactly. She'll tell us because she knows all things about that area. But I'm sure it's very nice and plush out that way, near Phoenix. All right. The booking charge is around $16 and guests will need to pay for their own travel out there near Phoenix. As a part of the collaboration, Airbnb will make a donation to Feeding America, which of course is a large food donor to a lot of the food pantries around the country. I believe they even work with Second Harvest Food Bank here in Nashville. Well, YouTube is now establishing some brand new requirements for artificial intelligence and the content that it generates. Now, the platform's updated artificial intelligence policy includes requirements for creators to disclose if they used AI to make their videos. YouTube's policy says failing to meet the requirements could result in the content being removed or suspended from the site's revenue sharing program. Now, the company says it must balance the opportunity for creativity with AI and the responsibility to protect its community. You know, Greg, it's getting crucial out there. I can talk more about this later. We're running out of time. Let's get to let's get to our weather forecast out there.
And I'm sure we're going to revisit this here throughout the rest of this morning. Taking a look here at 4:57, leading into 5 o'clock. 61 degrees for your Saturday, 63 on Sunday. The only day in the forecast where there could be some rain that does move in is going to be on Friday. We initially hoped we would have rain today and tomorrow. That is no longer the case. The best places to go for breaking weather, or if you just have a question, you can go to anywhere on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it these days, or Instagram. You can find all three of us there, myself, Justin, and Jen, and feel free to reach out. Have a conversation, ask us your questions. We have you covered. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we'll be in the upper 60s today, low 70s tomorrow, and then we do get cooler for the weekend. We'll focus on that next half hour.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get out to I-40 at 46th Avenue. Good morning out there in the nations. West Nashville, we're doing just fine on the travel out there this morning. No big problems for you in either direction. Of course, we got you covered if something does happen with steer clear traffic. We got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. Okay, here's a fair warning. We're about to tell you about something, but it could get stuck in your head for the rest of the day, depending on your generation. Remember Chili's famous, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. You hear everybody with that? Okay, it's the jingle that the restaurant chain released years ago. It's making a comeback. They've hired Boys to Men to sing the updated version. I'm sure that won't sound good at all. I'm sure that's, it'll be subpar, I'm sure, except I'm kidding. It's a nod to the misconception that many people thought that the R&B group originally recorded the jingle to begin with. No, people believe that? Come on now, that's not Boys to Men on the baby back. Come on now. So if you hear it, just know that the guys from Boys to Men, Sean Wanye and Nathan, they're going to be out there doing the Chili's, getting that Chili's money coming up here with a new jingle, and you'll be able to hear the distinct sound, I promise. Once they sing it, you'll know that it wasn't ever them to begin with. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News, parents are sharing heartache what they believe could have prevented their daughter's death. The man on your screen here connected to her death. This is the Belmont student who was killed in a Nashville park. We'll tell you about the action her parents are taking now.
And coming up, questions continue to rise on whether or not the state should reject $1.8 billion in federal funding.
We have the spyglass going for you here, trying to find any drop of rain we can by the end of this week. We will find what we can, and we'll work you into your weekend and your Code Red forecast.
Thanks so much for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning on your Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I'm Jennifer Waddell. To kick off this day, we're going to get you the top few stories you'll want to know about before you head out the door. First of all, we go to the Middle East, where the Israeli military says they are now conducting a targeted raid on a hospital in Gaza. This is the largest hospital. You've probably heard it mentioned before. This is the place where Israeli authorities say Hamas headquarters is operating. The U.S. is backing the claims that they're headquartered there, citing intelligence that Hamas is using hospitals like this one in the Gaza Strip to conduct their operations and hold hostages. So again, that target now underway. Iceland remains on alert for a possible volcanic eruption. What you're looking at here are thousands of people trying to evacuate. There are sensors there that can detect an increase in sulfur dioxide gas, which is a sign of volcanic activity. The Icelandic Meteorological Office says just since yesterday morning, 700 additional earthquakes have been reported. Right now, this is just a devastating story. I'm not sure if you caught this yesterday, but we do have an update for you right now. 6 people are dead after a crash involving a school bus. This was on I-70 in Ohio yesterday. Troopers say 3 of the victims were on the bus carrying students, and 3 other victims were in a separate vehicle. 15 students and the bus driver all went to the hospital. Troopers say the bus got rear-ended by a tractor trailer. A crash reconstruction team is trying to figure out exactly what led up to that. Well, new this morning, the parents of Jillian Ludwig will lay their daughter to rest Friday near their home in New Jersey. Jillian is the Belmont University freshman killed by a stray bullet last week while she was just walking in a park near campus. Metro Police have now charged the man on your screen, Shaquille Taylor. The bullet that he fired from a gun may not have been intended for Jillian, but killed her nonetheless. Several casings found near that park as police say he fired into a car. Well, a few months ago, Taylor had also been found incompetent to stand trial for aggravated assault. Those charges got dismissed and he was released back into society. Ludwig's parents are now pushing state lawmakers to close the loophole in the law that allows dangerous people who are found incompetent to walk free.
We haven't heard much, but we've heard about his rap sheet, and we know that it was just unthinkable that, he shot a teenager and he shot at a mother and her children and was still on the street to shoot my little girl in the middle of the day. So there's a failure, there's a breakdown in the system, and it really, there's no excuse for it.
Man, it is hard to imagine what they're going through. Matt and Jessica Ludwig say they will be at Shaquille Taylor's future court hearings and they will be at his trial. So Fox 17 News will follow the story as it develops. Right now, 5:04, and good morning to you, Greg. Happy Wednesday.
Jen, good morning. We're here. It is hump day. We're getting closer to the weekend. And I want to give you a look right now at downtown Nashville. I've only lived here 4 years, but in that 4 years, this skyline has changed so dramatically and continues to do so that every time that I walk the dog through Bicentennial Park, I go, what is that? Where is this? What is happening? That's us here in Music City. We're an ever-growing society, and our forecast is ever-growing when it comes to temperatures, but not rain. Unfortunately, we'll be in the upper 60s today, low 70s tomorrow. We'll get a little cooler for the weekend. Here's a look at Visibility Tracker. We're not seeing any fog out there. Here are the big three things we're going to talk about in the next check of the forecast. Calm and cool the next couple of mornings. Not cold, not frosty, but a few showers possible for Friday. I even put the smiley face emoji on there because we need the rain so badly that even a few showers are worth the smile. And we'll talk about your holiday travel and your 7-day forecast.
Speaking of travel, let's get into steer clear traffic right now. Check over by the airport. Looking pretty good here for a Wednesday morning. No backups to get off the interstate. Traffic moving smoothly both in and out of Nashville along I-40. No other major problems in steer clear traffic, so we'll give it a rest here and check back in just a few minutes. The debate continues this morning as to whether Tennessee should reject $1.8 billion worth of federal education funding. Fox 17 News reporter Kylie Walker joining us live this morning at the Capitol with more after a big task force meeting Tuesday. Kylie, what did they decide?
Well, at the request of House Speaker Cameron Sexton, a task force, just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, was put together. It is comprised of state senators and state representatives to decide whether or not, or even if they should consider rejecting $1.8 billion in federal education dollars. Now, some Republicans believe Tennessee should reject federal funding for education because the feds have too many restrictions on how children are educated. Others believe this money is necessary to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. Now, in a meeting on Tuesday, there was lots of talk about how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants.
We recognize and appreciate the legislative's panel task with researching the impact of federal funds. It's important when we're providing a snapshot, we also take a deep dive into the most important assets of our state, students. Federal funds support over 1 million or close to 1 million students annually.
Now, coming up at 11 a.m. this morning at Cordell Hall, educators and community members will meet in response to this task force meeting. We will have our crews there and we'll update you guys when the time comes. For now, live at the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kylie, thank you. Nearly 40 workers shorted on their pay. How this is igniting groups to advocate for worker protections in Nashville and get people what they're owed. Metro Nashville police investigating a deadly shooting in South Nashville. The unusual circumstances following that shooting.
Fox 17 News, your...
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Operation Crime and Justice right now. Metro Nashville police are investigating a deadly shooting. They say after the victim was shot, he drove to the BP gas station on Old Hickory Boulevard, got out of his car and asked for help, and then collapsed on the ground right outside of his car. Police say he later died. They have not released any information on a potential suspect at this point, but again, this was right there off Old Hickory Boulevard, so we'll continue to monitor the story for you as we get more details. Right now, though, it is 5:10, and I guess the downside to the forecast is that there's no rain in it. And typically, like, that's not the case. We're thinking, yeah, sunny days, and that's what we need.
And now we're going, hey, my lawn is crunchy, my plants are dying, everything is happening.
We love the sunshine.
It's always the flip side of the card, or that double-sided, the double-edged sword.
Oh, yeah.
Where everything kind of flips when you get to a certain point. Bust up forecast, no rain gear again. Temperatures not that terribly cool. Upper 40s and low 50s through 7 o'clock, and then 56 degrees by 8 a.m. So we're looking good there. Right side of your screen, current temps are in the upper 30s and low 40s. So this is going to be a comfortable morning. We can handle it very easily compared to some mornings we get this time of the year. Broadway, if you're driving down it and you're like, oh, the pavement's wet. We had rain last night. No, we didn't. We just hose this thing down every day. We got to kind of, clear out whatever happened and re-rack for the next thing the next day. Coming up in your full forecast, your 7-day, a look at future track. And I'm going to try to find potential rainfall totals, and they keep getting smaller and smaller hour by hour, but we'll look at those for you.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you. Let's check I-24 at Sam Ridley Parkway this morning. Things are moving along really nicely for those of you who are in Antioch, Laverne, Smyrna, Murfreesboro. If y'all are getting up and getting after it early today, then you have no problems in steer clear traffic. I'm going to get a really quick check here behind the scenes just to make sure we don't have anything that's popped up while I was talking, but nope, I don't see any crashes and no delays. So no matter where you're headed this morning, you've got the green light to get on out and go. Here at Fox 17 News this morning, we are thankful for you as we approach Thanksgiving, but we're grateful for you every day. If you're getting out and maybe getting that shopping done, I saw some folks at the store yesterday with their Thanksgiving list, trying to get them checked off. We're going to be here for you, as always, live through 9 a.m. as we get closer to the holiday, and those news, weather, traffic headlines every few minutes.
If you've been injured.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, just about 5:15 right now. And Thanksgiving, as I mentioned a moment ago, just around the corner. Greg says he's already started doing his shopping. I saw a lot of you out at the store yesterday doing the same thing. And if you are hosting a meal this year, get ready for some sticker shock. Yes, everything is still that expensive. This year's feast will cost all of us more. But, with a little bit of thought, maybe some effort, a little bit of pre-planning, you can definitely save some money. In today's Consumer Watch, we have Cole Higgins with 5 ways that you can keep this year's budget under control.
It's the Super Bowl of all the food holidays, Thanksgiving, and this year's feast is likely going to cost you more. Although turkey prices are down, side dishes are expected to be more expensive this year compared to last year. That's according to Wells Fargo's new Thanksgiving report.
That is the holiday. We clutter it up with so much other stuff, and we spend money until we're blue in the face.
So what can you do to save? Jessica Allen has these 5 tips to trim the costs. The first step is to create a budget and shop early.
Be realistic. What amount are you comfortable spending on a meal or your portion of the meal that you're contributing to the family dinner, and then stay within it.
2, trim the menu. Cut out the sides that are not huge hits at the dinner table. Choose wisely to avoid overspending on items that only get a few bites.
So can you go for meatless appetizers? Can you go for some beautiful, colorful vegetable or fruit side dishes that save you a little bit of money at the grocery store.
Number 3, go potluck. Experts recommend you ask guests to bring the desserts or sides. That way you can split the cost. Number 4, shop smart. Consider buying items in bulk and start looking for deals now.
When you start early enough, you've got time to piece together your meal from this place, and this place, and this place.
And finally, ditch the pre-made and pre-cut food. Consider buying those fruits and veggies and cutting them yourself. It's a bit more work, but it will help you avoid high price markups. For Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
Well, Greg and I were just watching that, and the first thing that stood out to the both of us was appetizers. You guys do appetizers for Thanksgiving, and it's a thing.
Immediately in our ear, our producer.
Audrey was like, oh, we do the apps, yeah.
And I went, okay, explain.
We've never done appetizers at
But
Thanksgiving.
I show up, and like an hour later you eat dinner.
Yeah, and then
now,
you're done.
if you make a day of it,
I could see, yeah, sure, if it's
that makes perfect sense.
drawn out.
You know, you have a little food early, you hang out, you watch some football, you chill outside, you go get the dinner later. I understand the whole process now. I didn't before. But the things you learn at 5:17 in the morning, Jen.
Wait, listen, if a day goes by and you don't learn something new,
Then what are you doing?
Was it even a day?
What are you doing?
Find something every day.
I'm going to try to teach you something right now.
Let's go.
I mean, not teach you, but I'm going to show you how to dance like a turkey. That's what I'm teaching you right now this morning. And this is the turkey that I'm going to save later on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this turkey later on this week, and I'm going to have you help me name our turkey that we're going to save here going into Thanksgiving. Because, you know, we always pardon turkeys, and a lot of them need to just, you know, have a little bit of love. Taking a look here for Thanksgiving, 50s will be your temperatures when we get into Thanksgiving Day itself. We have cool temps compared to normal, but we're going to be sunny and dry, so no rain problems. There, our travel forecast looking fantastic when it comes up to our weather here back home. The only showers that we're seeing right now are in portions of Alabama and Georgia, but they're going to pull off toward the east and move away from us. We need the rain, but we're not going to get much of it. Here's Future Track proving that for you. Limited rain chances. The best chance can be Friday into early Saturday when a cool front moves in. And that will take us from 68 today, 72 tomorrow, into the upper 50s and low 60s into Saturday and Sunday.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike as you make that drive into town. We're doing okay so far on the drive. There goes an emergency vehicle going somewhere. Okay, we'll watch it. We'll see where it ends up. If it impacts your interstate drive, we'll let you know. But right now, we're doing okay as you get out the door this morning. If you need to head towards the airport, we're doing okay in that direction. Here's 24 Waldron Road, also looking good over in that direction as you make that drive in from Smyrna.
Justin, thanks. Just about 5:20 right now. Nearly 40 local construction workers claim they're owed more than $50,000 for work they did in Germantown. A workers' rights organization is now calling on local and state government to pass laws to better protect workers. In fact, the group called Workers' Dignity says other states have stricter laws when it comes to wage theft. We have 37 carpenters working on the project at the Rome building who say they have not been paid since February. They say they're owed for weeks worth of not only standard work, but also overtime. And one Workers' Dignity volunteer explains if a contractor decides not to pay the worker, there really aren't any consequences.
We've asked for direct calls to accountability around the Rome building that have gone unreturned in the way of like an actual response, like an actual call to action.
Fox 17 News reached out to the developer, which is Greenpoint. We also reached out to the contractor, which is Associated Construction, and the subcontractor, which is Elevate Concrete, for a response. But so far, we have not heard back from any of those companies. Workers' Dignity plans to go to the site coming up November 18th to try to speak with workers and spread awareness about this issue. We'll follow up. Fox 17 News investigates. A grandmother continues to fight for custody of her grandchildren. She claims the woman in charge of their care is not treating them well. This comes as the Department of Children's Services places an emphasis on keeping children with family members. That's why Elizabeth Buchanan just doesn't understand why the judge refuses to give her custody of her 2 grandchildren.
They were being mistreated, not being fed. They were sleeping on the floor. No money was being spent on them as far as clothes.
A spokesperson for the Davidson County Juvenile Court telling Fox 17 News, while records are confidential, the court takes any allegations of abuse or neglect seriously, and a spokesperson for DCS says an investigation is underway. Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, Amanda Chin brings you this grandmother's story. Parents in one mid-state school district say they're upset about a cell phone tower being built right next to the school. Why they believe it's putting their children at risk.
During the Electronic Express.
5:24 is the time at noon this morning. Some Williamson County parents are very upset about a brand new cell phone tower that went up near an elementary school. Now, this is a video that we want to show you of that tower that went up very close to Trinity Elementary School that's just off of Murfreesboro Road in the Franklin area. Now, the tower started to go up back in August. The Williamson County mayor has long talked about the need for better cell service across many parts of Williamson County. But parents are concerned about the potential health risk of having a cell tower that close to a school. Some are concerned about the possibility of cancer or other risks that are associated at times with cell towers.
So I ask a question of all of you. If there was a 5 to 10% chance that one of your children or grandchildren would develop terminal cancer simply from going to school, if you were faced with a decision of a 5 to 10, 15% chance of getting terminal cancer from working from home, from living your life, from sending your children to school, would you do it? Would you do it? Or would you move? Would you abandon your community, your support system, all of your friends? Would you uproot your children and take them away from their friends simply to ensure their health and safety?
Now, parents are in the middle of gathering signatures, trying to pressure lawmakers there in Williamson County to remove the tower. We've got a lot more on this coming up here in our 6, 7, and 8 o'clock hours. We'll hear from more parents and talk more about whatever's out there regarding risk of being close to cell towers.
5:26, here's your Code Red forecast here. Kicking you off here on this Wednesday morning and taking a look ahead toward the weekend. Today will be dry. Unfortunately, no rain in the forecast for us here. We were hoping we could see a little bit today. That chance has gone as close to zero as possible. The weekend, no rain either, but cooler. Today, upper 60s. Tomorrow, low 70s. Look at Saturday and Sunday on your screen. Look at that. We'll be in the 30s overnight, starting Friday night into Saturday, and that will continue to be the nighttime temperature profile leading throughout the weekend and into next week. Much cooler for the afternoons as well, upper 50s and low 60s, calm and breezy. We're not worried about rain. We want rain, but we're not going to have it for the weekend, so at least your plans outdoors are not going to be bothered by that. Taking a look, how do you connect with any of us here? We've got Facebook, we have Twitter/X, we've got Instagram. You can find any of us on all of those platforms here to reach out if you have any questions. Just want to say hi.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get a quick look at what we're dealing with outside. This is going to be I-24 at Waldron Road as you get that drive out there from the Rutherford County area there in Laverne and Smyrna. As you can see, that drive looking pretty smooth out there. A couple of trucks sleeping along the entrance ramp, but other than that, we're doing okay. Keep in mind, the traffic volume here is really going to start to rise as we move further on into the morning, but right now, we're in really good shape. Well, Tennessee lawmakers are chiming in after a Belmont student was killed by a stray bullet. We're going to tell you why one lawmaker says a bill recently tabled by the state Senate may have saved that young lady's life.
And coming up after the break, whether the state should reject $1.8 billion in education federal funding.
Moving forward with Node.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a controversial mid-state alderman has resigned. Here when she gave her notice to the city of Franklin and why there was a bit of confusion regarding that.
Forecast waking up this morning. We're not terribly cool by any means. We're the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. When we could hit 70, crash back down to the 50s, and the one chance for rain coming up in your Code Red forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Dallas and Pike, close to the airport. You can see traffic moving along, but there could be some delays. We'll tell you more about it coming up in a few.
Thanks so much for starting your Wednesday with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell. A Fox 17 News alert right now. Controversial Franklin Alderman Gabrielle Hansen is no longer on the job. According to an announcement made during a meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen last night, Hansen resigned her position Monday. Now, the group had been meeting to talk about a possible censure of Miss Hansen, but the alderman said that wasn't possible as she had resigned. Additionally, her profile has been removed from the City of Franklin's website. New this morning in Crisis in the Classroom, state lawmakers meeting with the Department of Education just yesterday to talk about a hot topic, whether to reject $1.8 billion worth of federal education money for our schools here in Tennessee. What would that mean? What could that look like? Fox 17 News reporter Kylie Walker joining us live at the Capitol to explain.
Hey, yeah, and just to give you a little bit of backstory, state lawmakers have different opinions as to whether or not we should reject these education dollars. Now, this is why House Speaker Cameron Sexton formed a group comprised of state lawmakers and representatives to dig into the idea. While some Republicans believe Tennessee should reject federal funding for education due to too many restrictions from the federal governments to how children are educated, others say that the money is needed to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. Now, in a meeting on Tuesday, state leaders discussed how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants, with lawmakers questioning the Department of Education.
If we decide to do this, do you think we're going to have to give up everything in funding, or can we pick and choose what we want to take funding for and not take funding for?
To be honest with you, that's still a little bit up in the air. It's hard to predict. I would assume that most of the grant funds that are bundled together under like ESEA, for example, are probably going to maintain bundled together.
And of course, this is a developing story. We have all of these stories, all of our coverage on our website, fox17.com. But also, we want to let you guys know that coming up at 11 a.m., Cordell Hall, community members will be meeting with educators in order to respond to the task force meeting. We're going to have our crews there, and we'll have updates when the time comes. For now, live at the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
533 Broadway, Lower Broadway. Here we are. We're getting closer to the next weekend where we know it really is the most fascinating thing. I've worked nights, I've worked the mornings, then the whole 9 yards. And you look at the morning and we get everything good to go for the next day. And then at night you watch the camera and it's just person after person after person. That'll be the case this weekend because the forecast doesn't give us much rain over the next coming days. All eyes are on Friday when it comes to what I'm looking at, and what we're tracking is the possibility of a few showers. It is not going to be a lot of rain. We might get 1 to 2/10 of an inch. We have no rain at all right now. That is not going to put a dent in our drought. That is not going to end any of our burn bans, but there will be some drops that do come down. Going into the middle and late stages of your Friday and ending going into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get to I-40 at Dallas and Pike out near the airport. You can see traffic moving here without any issues or delay. We're doing okay so far on that particular drive, making that drive in from Donaldson there along I-40. We're also watching the drive through the area in the Waldron Road area here from Laverne. You can see trucks starting to pull on to the roadway here after a nice rest from overnight, but the traffic also starting to pick up here. So far, we're still under an hour from Murfreesboro into downtown. How long will that last? We'll let you know as we move on.
Thanks, Justin. At 5:35 right now, continuing coverage as state lawmakers are calling for action in the upcoming session to prevent what happened to Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig and keep it from happening to anybody else. The backstory here is lawmakers in the House say that the bill they passed could have prevented Jillian's death, but the Senate tabled the plan. Now, under current Tennessee law, doctors can commit someone if they are an immediate threat to themselves or to others. Lawmakers want to change the wording, especially the word immediate, to imminent.
Current law allows law enforcement to detain a person when they are in an immediate threat to themselves or to others. This bill changes the word immediate to imminent, and this expands the ability of law enforcement to handle these acute situations. Immediate threat means occurring at that instant, and imminent means is something that is about to happen.
House Speaker Cameron Sexton said if the bill had passed, it could have saved Jillian Ludwig. Senate leadership, though, disagrees. Members of both chambers say they will take up mental health and gun rights in the upcoming session. Metro Nashville police say they've got somebody in custody after a deadly shooting that happened Monday night. The charges he's now facing. And dozens of dogs rescued from a hoarding situation in Kentucky, where those dogs will now be recovering.
Attention homeowners.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Animal Rescue Corps says dozens of dogs are now safe this morning after they've been rescued from a hoarding and breeding operation in south central Kentucky. The group says they responded to a request to come out to Hart County. The animal control out there, man, that is just so sad. Animal control out there went in to help with nearly 60 large dogs, including puppies that were just a few weeks old. And look at that sweet little beagle there. Oh my. We're told that the puppies and their mamas have been placed into foster homes. The remaining big dogs are now recovering at ARC's Rescue Center in Gallatin. We have a breaking news update this morning as Metro Nashville police now say a man is behind bars charged in the death of a woman right outside of an Opryland area hotel. They tell us 33-year-old Delano Allen is charged with criminal homicide. Officers say they arrested him after they found him trying to break into a car at another mid-state motel. He was using a shovel. Police say Allen got into a fight with the woman, the victim, at that hotel by Opryland as she had pulled into the parking lot Monday night. They believe that Allen and the victim did know each other. That woman is 45 years old. Police have not released her name. Allen now is facing a number of charges. In addition to killing her, 3 counts of assaulting police officers, trying to steal that car, breaking into it with a shovel, and resisting arrest.
Forecast this morning, Wednesday. Here we are. We're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving. We're really almost right on the cusp of it. You're just a little week over from getting to that date. And taking a look here back home, we have not seen rain for basically most of us for the last week as well. We need rain. We're not getting it today. We're waking up this morning dry. We have no visibility problems. I've been watching visibility tracker for any fog. None of it on the radar this morning. What to know? Ton of words here. I'm going to break it down quick. Couple of showers Friday. Best chance for rain is going to be Monday. And then the best chance for rain northwest of Nashville on Friday and on Monday. We'll look at that as we go into our next check of the full forecast.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get out to what we're dealing with outside. This is going to be on I-40 at Donaldson Pike. You can see right there where the camera has shifted a little bit. That's because Metro Police just had a car pulled over here a short time ago. Looks like they've let that person roll on, so they'll readjust the camera coming up here in the next couple of seconds. Here's I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. A reminder, the Tanger outlets are out there and open, and about a week from now, they're getting ready for Black Friday, which means a lot more traffic could be showing up out there on our cameras. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
Thank you, Justin. At 5:42 right now. Still to come on Fox 17 News, a clash on Capitol Hill. We'll break down how things turned physical between a Tennessee representative and a California counterpart.
Lowe's knows you need to save money.
Well, Political headlines here on your Wednesday morning. A confrontation between former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett gets physical.
I was standing in the hall doing an interview with her, and Kevin McCarthy walked by and he elbowed me in the kidneys as he walked by.
Did you elbow him?
Okay, no, I did not elbow him. No, I would not elbow him. I would not hit him in a kidney.
So, who's telling the truth? Adding to this dispute right now, our Tennessee Representative Burchett says he doesn't think it was an accident at all.
Felt it was on purpose and not an accident.
100% on purpose, man. What are the chances? 435 members of Congress, 8 of us voted against him. I'm the one who did it. I'm one of them that did it, and he's publicly called me out. You know.
I did not run and hit the guy. I did not kidney punch him. I did not shoot anything like that.
You didn't shove him?
No.
So does this sound like Congress, or does this sound like, high school antics? The one thing the two lawmakers agree on is what happened next.
You chased after him?
Yeah, I did. Because I really didn't know what was going on. I turned around and I see him scurrying away, and so I just and then I followed in pursuit, I guess you would say.
And he comes running up like, why did you hit me or something like that? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even know something transpired.
No word on whether Congressman Burchett intends to press charges against McCarthy, or wouldn't you think maybe there was a camera somewhere that caught the whole thing? Would you think? Am I the only one who is questioning whether there's got to be video from a camera somewhere, right? We'll see if that ever surfaces. 5:47 right now. The U.S. Postal Service off to a rough start in its 10-year restructuring plan. Just yesterday, they reported a $6.5 billion net loss in 1 year. The report comes as the agency is in the middle of a 10-year restructuring plan, or at least they're getting it going. They're trying to eliminate the losses and turn a profit, which they have not done in years. The U.S. Postal Service is planning to hike up our postage rates again in January, marking the 5th time they've done that in just the last 2 years. We have major retailers who might be second-guessing the use of self-checkout. The technology has led to higher merchandise losses because of either outright theft or just error. A new study finds companies that have self-checkouts lost more than double the industry average. Stores like Walmart and Costco are now, oh, look at that. Now they're saying they're going to go back to having people work the checkouts or getting rid of the self-checkout lanes altogether. Let's I feel like we could have an entire hour segment on this, because you got rid of, cashiers and people to begin with, and you put in this technology, and then you don't train people on how to use the technology, and then you want to question everybody when they're walking out with a receipt when nobody was trained on how to do what the other people were paid to do in the first place, and now you're saying you're going to go back to paying people to do the job because you're losing too much with the self-checkout. I don't know. Make it make sense, y'all. Hey, with the Christmas season fast approaching, a good time to remember how to keep yourself and your home safe, especially with a tree that you're putting up. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reminds people that live trees are a definite fire hazard, but listen, so are the fake trees. So if you have a live tree, though, if it's a real one, make sure you keep it well watered. If you decide to go with an artificial tree, make sure it does have a fire-resistant label. When it comes to lights, only use the ones that have been tested for safety, and maybe get rid of any sets that have, frayed wires or broken sockets and stuff like that, because, man, those trees go up just like that. Can't let the Christmas tree get dried out. We're in a drought.
Don't let the dog drink the water from the Christmas.
Don't let the dog drink the water, or the cat drink the water.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
So we just covered a lot right there.
Yeah, we did.
Do you like Raisin Bran?
I do like Raisin Bran.
Today's National Raisin Bran Day.
Really? How funny.
Maybe that's your easy cereal breakfast of the day.
I've not had that in so long.
I know.
But listen, when I was younger, my mom and dad always bought Raisin Bran, and I would go through the box and pick out the extra raisins and put extra raisins, because I always felt like the raisin to bran flake ratio wasn't cutting it.
Needed
more raisins.
You were the Raisin Bran version of me as a Lucky Charms kid.
Oh, so you would get the Lucky Charm marshmallows?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Taking a look here. Where's the rain? We're in a drought. We have no rain today. Temperatures are well above average this morning, and they will be later on this afternoon. We're in the upper 40s and low 50s. Easy day. The afternoon puts us in the upper 60s, 10 near 70 today and tomorrow. 7-day forecast. All in all, pretty good looking here. Taking a look. I mean, maybe you want to go run your errands and finish up your Thanksgiving Day shopping on Saturday and Sunday. Perfect. Upper 50s on Saturday, right near 60 degrees on Sunday. Nighttime temperatures, though, so if you're waking up real early, are going to be much cooler back into the 30s as we head into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a look at the north side. This is going to be I-65 at Trinity Lane. As you can see, traffic moving along there without any issues so far this morning. It is starting to bunch up a bit as you come down from the north side. We've got the very latest of your drive times. This is all coming up in the next few minutes as we're starting to see school buses jump up out there on the mid-state roads for this Wednesday morning.
A grandmother known for accidentally inviting a stranger to Thanksgiving dinner is now welcoming new guests. We'll tell you how you could have the chance to join her on this holiday. And there are some new rules if you create content on YouTube. We'll tell you what could happen if you violate their new artificial intelligence guidelines.
During the Electronic Express.
Welcome back. Some science and tech headlines here for you this morning. YouTube is now establishing some new requirements when it comes to AI-generated content. You know, we've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence lately and warning about some of the consequences. Well, the platform's updated artificial intelligence policy does include requirements for creators. So if you're somebody who posts content on YouTube, you now have to disclose if you used artificial intelligence to make a video. YouTube's policy says if you don't meet the requirements, the content could be removed. You could be suspended from the site's revenue sharing program. In other words, they could stop you from making money. The company says they're trying to balance the opportunity for creativity with AI, but also the responsibility to make people aware that what they're seeing is not real. I mean, you think about this, right? That what you're seeing is not real. It is artificial intelligence. A grandmother who is known for accidentally inviting a stranger to Thanksgiving, she did this years ago, is now opening her house to a couple more guests this year. Wanda Dench lives out in Arizona, and she came to fame when she accidentally invited Jamal Hinton to Thanksgiving back in 2016. She thought she was texting her grandson, but Hinton got the message and showed up, and he's been coming to Thanksgiving dinner with her every year since. What a cool story. Well, this time, we understand Ms. Dench is teaming up with Airbnb to invite some more people to Thanksgiving. She's known as a Thanksgiving grandma, and she's going to invite 2 extra people to come have a Thanksgiving meal with her and Hinton on November 20th in Prescott, Arizona, not far from Phoenix. So that's in just 5 days. The booking charge is $16, and you just have to pay to get there. But as part of this collaboration with Airbnb, they're making a donation to Feeding America. I love that they still do that. I think that's great. Hey, you know, some dogs are just not cut out for government work. But the good news is they're great family pets, and you can adopt them. The Canine Adoption Program in San Antonio, Texas, lets dogs that are not suited to be TSA canines get adopted into good homes. These dogs are either maybe a little too rambunctious or too sweet for the difficult job of keeping travelers safe in the airports. In some situations, the agents, the dogs, are being retired, and then they're ready to be spoiled by a great family. If anybody is, and obviously that was a canine that was very good at doing its job. Interested families do have to have a fenced-in yard, no intention of moving for at least 6 months, and some other requirements that are listed on the Canine Adoption Program page. And maybe they just weren't quite cut out to do the tough stuff, but they make it.
My dog's deemed too lazy.
Who is this?
This is Cody. It's our dog of the day, Jen.
Look at that handsome
boy.
Look at that. I mean, the stoic pose, the paws are perfect.
He is so handsome.
If you're a dancer, you know that Cody's almost in second position, ready to go and do the spin, do the twirl. Taking a look, 60 degrees at 7 o'clock. We'll be into the upper 60s later on this afternoon. Not anything to worry about for your dog walk. So whether it's a morning, midday, or late day dog walk, we're going to have our temperatures that are very warm compared to what we're supposed to be this time of the year. A lot of sunshine out there. We're trying to find a little bit of rain. Friday's our best bet. We're going to track that for you going into our 6 o'clock half hour. Good morning, Cody.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning takes us over to I-24 at Haywood Lane on that drive coming into town. You know, a few months ago, they put up these SmartWay corridors out there, telling people exactly how fast they should be going out there on the interstates. Where this one says 40 miles per hour right now is what we're looking at of how fast you should be going as you make your way through the Antioch area. So heads up on that. It won't be 70 all the way through, not at all. We're also taking a look at the scene out here in Murfreesboro. This could be 24, very close to Highway 231. No crash, just a lot of congestion as people are up and about out there in Rutherford County.
Well, just about 6 o'clock right now, and are you ready for it? There's a new era approaching for Taylor Swift fans, and that's a nod to one of her songs, in case you weren't familiar. Swifties can soon take a cruise, and it's an era-themed vacation planned around Taylor Swift. The agency called Marvelous Mouse Travels is working with Royal Caribbean to offer the In My Cruise Era group adventure. The cruise is scheduled to set sail from Miami, Florida, one day after Taylor Swift wraps up a 3-show run in that city. And while she is not affiliated with this cruise in any way, fans and people who book the cruise will be on that boat with Taylor Swift-themed dance parties, all kinds of friendship bracelet trading, and music, and all that good stuff. So I guess if you're a real Swiftie, it won't be long before you can take a cruise and do all things Taylor Swift. All right, our 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the man you see on your screen is facing charges after the death of a Belmont student. Her parents are now speaking out what they believe could have prevented their daughter's death and the role they're playing moving forward.
And coming up, the debate continues. Should the state reject more than $1 billion in federal education dollars?
Forecast for us here, smaller and smaller chances for rain, but we'll find a little bit that we can get coming up in your Code Red forecast.
I-24 near Highway 231 out there in Murfreesboro. Early morning congestion. We're going to tell you how far the drive is coming up in a few.
Thanks for starting your Wednesday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our top stories as we get into a brand new hour. As we get closer to Thanksgiving and getting ready for Turkey Day, you'll want to make sure you're keeping safety top of mind. Thanksgiving is the peak day for home cooking fires. That's according to the National Fire Protection Association, and in efforts to try to prevent devastating fires, especially around the holidays. The staff at the Nashville Fire Department Training Academy is out there this morning, and they're going to be doing the thing that we've come to know and love every year at Thanksgiving, is showing us what not to do if you're going to deep fry a turkey. Now, let's take a live look here. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey out there with the Nashville firefighters. They're getting ready to show you what can happen if you deep fry a turkey the wrong way. And we understand that they've got the big pot of hot grease cooking there. They're going to get that oil hot enough to drop the turkey in it. One of the things, for example, you don't want to do, in case you're going to try a deep fry this year and you've never done it, do not, and I repeat, do not put a frozen turkey into the deep fryer. The results would be catastrophic. So I'm not sure if we know a countdown of when they're actually going to do this, because it is visual. And okay, it looks like it's going to take a minute, but it's very visual. And again, just a reminder of what you need to be doing to stay safe as you get into your holiday cooking season. So we'll tap back into this here in just a couple minutes.
That we will, and if it happens in the middle of this weather, producer, just tell me to get the heck out of the screen so we can go see that visual that happens, because this is a really big deal going into Thanksgiving. Also, have baking soda on standby. If you get a grease fire, the last thing you're going to do in your kitchen is put water on it. It will only make things exponentially worse second by second. Thanksgiving Day, cooler. Temperatures are going to be on the cool side in the mid-50s, sunny but dry, so no problems when it comes to rain. Holiday travel is looking really good here across most of the country. Jogging forecast this morning, if you're maybe trying to burn a couple extra calories before you stretch out the boat loop next week. Taking a look here, 60 degrees by 9 a.m. We'll be at 64 at 10. Right side of your screen, your current temps are there like they are every morning for you. And you can see the only close rain to us is down to our south. This is not moving in our direction. We'll look at your 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24 near Highway 231 in the Murfreesboro area. No crash that we're following out there, just a lot of congestion to greet you out there on the road for this particular morning. Let's take a look at the overall drive times, because they are starting to slow down in a big way. Coming in there from the south and the east side there, 65 minutes from Murfreesboro into downtown right now, 32 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet, 28 minutes coming in from Hendersonville. All of these times will start to rise throughout the morning.
Thank you, Justin. New this morning at 6:05. The debate continues right now as to whether Tennessee should reject $1.8 billion in federal education funding. We've had some of our lawmakers say they don't want to accept that money anymore because there are too many strings attached to it. They'd rather do things on a state level. Fox 17 News reporter Kylie Walker joining us live at the Capitol with what we've learned since a task force meeting that happened last night.
Yeah, at the request of House Speaker Cameron Sexton, an education task force was formed. It's comprised of state lawmakers and representatives to consider whether Tennessee should reject approximately $1.8 billion federal dollars. Now, some Republicans believe that Tennessee should reject federal funding for education because the feds have too many restrictions on how children are educated. Others believe this money is necessary to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. In a meeting on Tuesday, there was lots of talk about how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants.
We recognize and appreciate the legislative panel task with researching the impact of federal funds. It's important when we're providing a snapshot, we also take a deep dive into the most important assets of our state students. Federal funds support over 1 million or close to 1 million students annually.
Now, parents, educators, and community members plan to respond to the task force meeting today at 11 a.m. Cordell Hall. We'll have our crews there. We'll have any updates that come from that as well later in the day. For now, live at Cordell Hall, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Kylie. New this morning, the parents of Jillian Ludwig will lay their daughter to rest Friday near their home in New Jersey. Jillian is the Belmont University freshman killed by a stray bullet last week while she was just walking in a park near campus. This was in the Edge Hill community. Metro Police have now charged Shaquille Taylor for her death and that bullet that hit her when they say he was firing shots into a car driving by. And it's not his first run-in with the law. 29-year-old Taylor had been found incompetent to stand trial for aggravated assault in a separate case. Those charges got dismissed, and he was released back into society. Ludwig's parents are now pushing state lawmakers to close the loophole in the law that allows dangerous people found incompetent to walk free.
We haven't heard much, but we've heard about his rap sheet, and we know that it was just unthinkable that, he shot a teenager and he shot at a mother and her children and was still on the street to shoot my little girl. in the middle of the day. So there's a failure, there's a breakdown in the system, and it really, there's no excuse for it.
Just heartbreak there. By the way, Jillian's parents say they will be at Shaquille Taylor's future court hearings and they'll be at his trial. Parents in one mid-state school district say they're upset about a cell phone tower being built next to their children's school. Why they say it's putting them at risk.
There is a crisis going.
6:10 is the time, and new this morning, some Williamson County parents are very upset about a brand new cell phone tower that went up near an elementary school. Let's take a look at the video from our cameras as we stop by where this new cell phone tower is located, very close to the Trinity Elementary School. That's just off of Murfreesboro Road in Franklin. Now, that tower started to rise back in August. The Williamson County mayor has long talked about the need for better cell phone service out there in Williamson County. But some parents went to the county commission very concerned about potential health risk of having a cell phone tower that close to a school.
I am here to oppose the ill-conceived proposal to erect cell phone towers in close proximity to Williamson County schools, a decision that blatantly disregards the health and safety of our most vulnerable citizens. The proponents of these towers, blinded by the allure of profit, have failed to grasp the alarming implications of their actions. The World Health Organization has classified RF radiation, radiofrequency radiation, as a possible human carcinogen, which means it possibly causes cancer. There are studies to back this up and other international organizations that support their studies.
Now, I want to make this clear. This is coming from the American Cancer Society. They said at this particular moment, there is no strong evidence that exposure to the RF waves that come from cell phone towers actually causes any noticeable health effects. However, they say it does not mean that the RF waves from those cell phone towers have been proven to be absolutely safe. They say most expert organizations agree that more research is needed to help clarify exactly what the risks really are.
6:12 your time. A very quick check of your forecast, getting the kids up and out the door here at the bus stop. 51 degrees at 7 o'clock, 56 degrees at 8, and then 60 at 9 a.m. It's not going to be one of those mornings we have to worry about rain gear or extra layers. Just get up, get out the door, make it a comfortable Wednesday here. Getting closer to the weekend, one chance for rain and cooler temps coming up in just a few.
Steer clear traffic at 6:12 out there this morning. Let's take a quick look at the drive from the north side of town. This is going to be I-65 here, Trinity Lane. You can see the traffic starting to move in a little bit. It is a bit congested making that drive in so far. The times coming down from Hendersonville will only slow down as the morning goes on. Right now, the best way to steer clear of any congestion, Ellington Parkway. But again, we'll get you the latest drive times coming up in a few minutes. Well, coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, we got a controversial mid-state alderman, Gabrielle Hansen, who resigned. We're going to tell you exactly when she gave her notice to the city.
Attention homeowners.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:15 is your time. A Fox 17 News alert now. The controversial Franklin alderman Gabrielle Hansen is no longer on the job. According to an announcement made during a meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, Ms. Hansen turned in her resignation, resigned Monday. The group had already started the process to talk about a possible censure of Ms. Hansen, but the alderman said that wasn't on the table anymore because she resigned. Additionally, Hansen's profile has been removed from the City of Franklin's website. If you want to read more about how we got to this point, with her resignation and the vote to a possible censure, there's a lot that's happened over the last several months. You can head to fox17.com, just search Hansen, and you'll find the articles of our coverage there. 6:16 on your hump day. Happy Wednesday.
You know I have that graphic made too.
Do you?
And I didn't use it. With the camel.
Yeah.
Okay, by the end of the day, I'm going to sneak it up on you at some point.
All right.
But today is hump day.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a spicy hermit cookie?
I'm sorry, what? A what?
Spicy hermit cookie.
I don't think so.
I've never heard of it, but it's
What
the
is
day
it?
for. Okay, I'm going to tell you because it actually sounds like very delightful.
Okay.
It is a cookie that comes from spices of cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and sometimes nutmeg. Nutmeg. You can add in raisins, nuts, or dates.
Huh.
It's like a fall cookie.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like a spice
glamorous
cake.
Yeah, like a glamorous fall cookie cake kind of thing going on.
All right. I would eat that. I'd try it.
There you go.
Yeah.
617. Like Jen and I mentioned last hour.
A spicy hermit cookie.
Yep. Now, like Jen, you
Why
mentioned.
they call it?
I don't know. I don't make
Because
the
of course,
name.
first I thought hermit crabs, and then I was like, we're not eating crab cookies,
No.
so that can't be it. And then I
Well,
thought
and even
hermit
if-
like as in,
Even if we were eating crab cookies, they would not be hermit crab cookies.
and then I thought like hermit as in like somebody who doesn't come out of their house.
Maybe those are the ones making them. I don't know. Take a look here. Doppler radar. We have nothing going on for us here to start this morning. No rain today or tomorrow. Right side of your screen, we have our current temps that are in the upper 40s and low 50s. This is a very reminiscent day to yesterday, so we're just going to get right into it. 68 degrees later on this afternoon, 72 tomorrow, 66 on Friday. That is our best chance for rain. I'll track it for you coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-24 at the Old Hickory Boulevard area there. As you make that drive in that Antioch area, you can see where traffic is moving along. 30 miles per hour is what they're recommending there on that particular drive as you make your way through Antioch. Lots of congestion, lots of stop and go. The drive is well over an hour there at this point. You can try Murfreesboro Road to steer clear, but it too has got drama of its own. 65 at Trinity Lane looking pretty well right now, especially compared to that drive down I-24, but it too will turn into a school zone before long.
All right, well, we'll be there when it does and help you steer clear. Justin, thank you. 618, Operation Crime and Justice now. Metro Nashville police are investigating a deadly shooting. They say after the victim was shot, he drove himself to the BP gas station on Old Hickory Boulevard, got out of his car and asked for help, and then collapsed right outside of his car. Police say he later died. They are still working to figure out what happened and who's responsible. As we get those details, we'll bring them to you here live through 9. We have close to 40 local construction workers who claim they're owed more than $50,000 for work they've done in Germantown. A workers' rights organization is now calling on local and state governments to pass laws to protect workers. The workers' rights organization called Workers' Dignity says other states have stricter laws for wage theft. 37 carpenters working on the project at the Rome building say they haven't been paid since February. They say they're owed for weeks of work and overtime. One Workers' Dignity volunteer explains that if a contractor decides not to pay the worker, there really are no consequences. Workers' Dignity, by the way, plans to go to the site, the Rome building, November 18th, to try to talk with people working there and spread awareness about the issue. 6:20 on the dot right now, getting closer to Thanksgiving, and the Nashville Fire Department wants to make sure you're doing things the right way in the kitchen, especially if you're going to be deep frying a turkey. And so this morning, as they do every year, and yes, we have come to know this to be an annual tradition, if you will, where the fire department shows us how not to deep fry a turkey. It's always very visual. What they do is they heat up the deep fryer with the oil, and they're going to drop a frozen turkey into the deep fryer. That's what you should never do. The reason? Water and hot oil, highly combustible, can create devastating fires. As we watch them here, get ready, and we do understand they're going to go here at any moment with a drop. Just a couple of things to remember if you are going to be deep frying a turkey this Thanksgiving. First of all, as I mentioned, do not ever put a frozen turkey in there. Also, make sure you don't have too much oil in the fryer pot, because if oil spills out of the pot, it's going to hit the burner at the bottom, and then you've got a big fire. Also, make sure if you're going to do this, stay well away from any buildings, no flammables close by. You can see these guys are out in a concrete parking lot with nothing around that could catch fire. So I'm going to ask our photojournalist, Kevin. All right, here we go. It looks like they're Looks like they're coming on over, getting in place. They told us that they were going to go at 6:20, and that looks to be the case. So hang here with us. I don't know if we can hear it. I don't know if we got sound on it, but we'll definitely watch it. All right, and these are the folks who are trained professionals. There's the sound showing us what not to do. That turkey is frozen. It's going into that boiling hot oil. And it's going to go here in just a moment. As soon as they drop it, they're going to back off, and you'll see how quickly this thing goes. They're giving the thumbs up, moving a little bit closer. By the way, thanks to the Nashville Fire Department for being out there this morning, as always. And, they really do this as just a public safety announcement. This is part of their, public safety awareness campaigns to make sure people are being safe out there. That's why they do this every year. All right, here, looks like they're getting it just right. All right, he's got to get out of the way because they've got to be safe. I mean, they're clearly wearing all their turnout gear and protective layers, but there we go. That is the kind of scenario that could very quickly, especially because of our dry conditions right now, that could very easily take out a home, a garage, injure, or even, lead to death for people who are close by. So thanks to the Nashville Fire Department for that public service announcement of what you don't want to do if you're deep frying a turkey here this Thanksgiving.
Let the outdoor professionals.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We have a breaking news update right now. Metro Nashville police say a man is behind bars charged in the death of a woman who was killed outside of an Opryland area hotel. Very busy tourist spot, especially this time of year. So many people there going to see the Christmas lights at the hotel over there. They say 33-year-old Delano Allen is now charged with criminal homicide. Officers say not only that, they arrested him when he was trying to break into a car at another Midstate motel with a shovel. Police say Allen got into a fight with the woman, the victim, over by Opryland as she was pulling into the Ramada Inn parking lot around 6 o'clock Monday night. They believe Allen and that woman knew each other. Police say the woman is 45 years old, but they have not released her name. Allen is facing all kinds of charges. Additionally, 3 counts of assaulting police officers, attempted vehicle theft because he was trying to steal that car with a shovel, according to police, and then also resisting arrest. 6:26 is your time right now. Greg left us a couple of notes here for the weekend outlook. I imagine some of you are going out of town, or maybe you're going to be entertaining people who are coming into town. Looking pretty good for the weekend. Very fall-like. It looks like Greg has dropped the temperatures for the weekend. I noticed they're a few degrees cooler. It looks like 58 for your high on Saturday, 60 for the high on Sunday. Lows down near freezing Sunday night, 35 for your low. But the notes here, much cooler, calm and breezy. And Greg says we don't have any rain coming in for the weekend.
Clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at I-24 near Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is here on the south and east side of town. As you can see, traffic getting by, but things are relatively slow out there as you make that drive in. We had an earlier crash here a few seconds ago, really. It has since cleared up, but that drive time still a little slow. 80 minutes is what we're talking about coming in right now from Murfreesboro to downtown Nashville. The slowdowns there coming out of Laverne into Antioch. This is typical. With the one crash we had has gotten out of the way, but things are still slow.
Thank you, Justin. 3 high school students are among 6 victims of a fiery crash on an interstate. What state troopers say caused this chain reaction.
Lowe's knows the holidays.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
A community is in mourning. 3 high school students are among 6 people killed in just an awful interstate crash. Details on what caused this chain reaction.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning includes I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway, where things are getting slower by the moment. We're going to tell you how you can steer clear.
Comfortably warm for the rest of the week with limited rain chances. Greg is going to track any little hint that we see at rain coming up in just a couple of minutes. What a gorgeous sunrise to start your Wednesday. Man, that is something to see, isn't it? I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And kicking off this Wednesday with the first look at your forecast. Greg, I know that the rain chances have gone down for today and tomorrow. Friday, if we get some rain, man, there's another live look from that City View camera. Looks so good.
Usually you'd see me in front of the screen right now, but this is just going to make it worse if I do it. So we're going to enjoy what we got right there.
But so any little chance for rain Friday, what are we timing wise?
We're talking afternoon toward the evening.
Okay.
And maybe a tenth or two of an inch worth of rain. So that shower that passes by lasts maybe a half hour or an hour, is very light rain, and then gets out of Dodge in time for the weekend. That's where we're at. Taking a look at the right side of your screen, temps this morning are above average, upper 40s and low 50s. I'll walk in front of the screen when there's an empty map, not the beautiful sunrise. Taking a look here. Visibility tracker, no fog for you here this morning. Taking a look. What's the big weather story? Well, we're calm and cool for the next couple of days. We're above average, but we're not too warm and we're not cold. We're in a really good place into the weekend. Friday showers, they're going to be there, and that's why I put the little smiley emoji there. Even a little bit of rain can go a long way when you're in a drought like we have right now. Holiday travel will be a big thing that we watch out for you here going into the next half hour. We'll also talk about your 7-day forecast. Hey, let's just do it right now. Taking a look. 68 degrees later on this afternoon, 72 tomorrow, 66 degrees on Friday, upper 50s to right near 60 on Saturday and Sunday. So I have dropped the temperatures a little bit for the weekend because of the cool front that brings in that best, not major, but best chance for rain Friday into Saturday. And it will cool down your night times. Get the heater ready overnight going into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic. Let's show you a delay that is clearing up as we speak on Briley Parkway here at McGavock. You can see where the TDOT trucks have gotten out. They have completely stopped traffic here for all lanes here. We understand there's some debris in the road. Now, I've seen workers getting out of their trucks, trying to get that debris out of the road. And once it's completely clear, I think they thought they had it a few moments ago, but now they need to take a closer look. Apparently, they have found something else. But you can see them out there hustling. As a matter of fact, you may be able to see that worker right there trying to get to the shoulder. Once they get that out of the road, they can completely reopen that. But that is the frustration of the drive this morning coming in from the Donaldson area as you go towards Opry Mills, going towards eventually up to Madison. Is there a way to steer clear? No. Well, I mean, you could take Old Hickory Boulevard all the way up and over, but by the time you do that, it's easier to sit through this, even though there's a minor delay. We believe it's going to be minor. We believe that TDOT's going to start moving these trucks here any second now and completely clear this road and remove any debris. There they go. There's the organized movement there. These are your tax dollars at work, and now the road is released, hopefully a little better than where it was a few seconds ago.
All right, good news, Justin. Thank you. 6:34 right now.
We lost 3 students in the accident. Students who were bright lights, full of life, and who lost their lives way too young.
Making national headlines this morning. 6 people are killed, 18 others hurt, including students, in a fiery crash on an Ohio interstate just yesterday. The NTSB confirms that a semi-truck rear-ended a charter bus transporting students from a school in eastern Ohio. 3 of the 6 people killed in the crash were students. Ohio State troopers say all of the vehicles were traveling on I-70 when the chain reaction crash happened. We understand that 3 vehicles, the tractor trailer, the charter bus, and another one, all caught fire.
We do know that at least 5 vehicles were involved. The 3 vehicles I mentioned, the motor coach, SUV, and the commercial motor vehicle, and at least 2 vehicles in front of the motor coach, another passenger vehicle, and another commercial motor vehicle.
Hundreds of people gathering for a vigil overnight as that community continues to pour out their support. My goodness, just, looking at the aftermath of this crash, just devastating here. New this morning, we're also getting a look at the package of cocaine found at the White House over the summer. The Secret Service releasing these pictures showing what appears to be the packet of cocaine that was found in a locker at a West Wing entrance in July. Secret Service authorities say they were unable to identify a suspect, which is interesting because if they have pictures, we know they have cameras everywhere in the White House, but still unable to identify who left it there. Still a lot of questions and not a lot of answers as to how this all came to be. Well, with Thanksgiving next week and then, of course, Christmas right around the corner, a good time to remember how to keep yourself safe at home, especially if you put up a tree. In this video, we showed you the deep fryer turkey fires. Christmas tree fires also a big concern this time of year. So if you do have a real tree, please make sure you keep it watered. Keep it away from anything flammable. In other words, don't get it too close to those outlets or candles. And if you have an artificial tree, make sure it has the label on it that says fire resistant. And yes, that is a thing. Toss out any sets of lights that might have frayed wires or broken sockets or anything like that, just to limit the chance for a fire. Well, everybody needs help from time to time, and our local leaders in Robertson County are coming together to help provide free meals this Thanksgiving. We'll tell you everything you'll want to know.
And we'll look ahead to your Thanksgiving Day forecast and travel plans leading up to that day in a few minutes.
My name is
Good morning, time right now, it's 6:40, taking a look, moving you out the door here on your Wednesday. We're getting closer to the weekend. Have you bought everything for Thanksgiving yet? Because I'm telling you right now, you got to look at the calendar. We're getting real close if y'all are having people over. This is going to be a weekend that will be great for planning, great for shopping, and will be a little cold in the morning, but sometimes those are the best hours to get out there to the grocery store. As far as this morning goes, top of the radar, nothing going on. Right side of your screen, we have temperatures that are in the 40s. We're only going to be in the 30s starting Friday night into all of next week. So we turn a corner when it comes to getting really into fall-like temperatures. I've lowered our rain chances for today to almost 0, which is very unfortunate because we really do need the rain. Your best chance is going to be Friday now in our forecast. I want to show you one more thing, and this is going to be your 7-day forecast because I want to make sure you know what you're getting into for the rest of this week and planning into the weekend. 68 degrees today, 72 tomorrow. We'll stay in the middle 60s on Friday. That best chance for rain, only a couple tenths of an inch, but it's not going to really put a dent in the drought. However, it could be inconvenient driving afternoon toward the evening before we get dry into Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Greg. Steer clear traffic right now. Taking a live look at a little bit of a backup this morning coming in on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. So good morning to Sumner County, Hendersonville, Gallatin. This is kind of a standard slow zone on the bypass there coming into Nashville. No crashes reported here right now, but just check the brakes, slow your roll, and give yourself the standard amount of time to get into Nashville this morning. We'll check in on another spot in steer clear traffic in just a couple minutes. Well, right now, new from Smoky Barn News, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, we do have a lot of families who are going to have trouble putting a meal on the table. But that's why local leaders in Robertson County and our surrounding areas are hosting free Thanksgiving dinner events. But we want to focus on Robertson County this morning. Here's what you'll want to know. All right, so this is going to be coming up. Well, let's see if we can get our little tool selected here so we can show you what we want to do. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see here. Thanksgiving community meals coming up November the 16th. We're going to have at 11:30 a potluck at the Robertson County Senior Center. Right, so we got that one there. And then coming up November 17th, we have a beef stew fundraiser. All right, that's going to be another one of the community events where you could take part and also get a free meal. So we're going to make sure that we've got all this information posted for you. And there's that November 17th beef stew. We'll get all this posted for you. That one, by the way, is at the Senior Center in Orlando. Fox17.com, the place to go.
Interest rates inflating the cost of debt for credit card users and the federal government. I'm Atrell Nashar with a look at the toll it's taking on both.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning at 6:45 right now. New this morning, a crisis in the classroom. State lawmakers meeting with the Department of Education to talk about a hot topic, whether to reject $1.8 billion in federal education funding. Fox 17 News reporter Kylie Walker at the state capitol this morning with that story.
State lawmakers have different opinions as to whether or not Tennessee should reject the federal education dollars. Now, this is why House Speaker Cameron Sexton put together a group of lawmakers to dig into this idea. While some Republicans believe Tennessee should reject federal funding for education due to too many restrictions from the federal governments to how children are educated, others say the money is needed to fund lower-income students and students with disabilities. In a meeting on Tuesday, state leaders discussed how districts would implement administrative requirements and programs funded through federal grants, with lawmakers questioning the Department of Education.
If we decide to do this, do you think that we're going to have to give up everything in funding, or can we pick and choose what we want to take funding for and not take funding for?
To be honest with you, that's still a little bit up in the air. It's hard to predict. I would assume that most of the grant funds that are bundled together under like ESEA, for example, are probably going to maintain bundled together in part.
And coming up later this morning at 11 a.m., Cordell Hall community members, parents, and educators plan to respond to the task force meeting. At the Capitol, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Kylie. In our economy now, the last 18 months, the Federal Reserve Bank has raised interest rates 11 times. And as Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar shows us, the rising cost of debt is impacting both us individually and the federal government.
Even under high inflation, consumer spending has been through the roof. To keep up, shoppers have turned to plastic. Between July and September of this year, Americans racked up $48 billion in credit card debt, bringing the national total of outstanding credit card balances to a whopping $1.08 trillion, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
There's this saying about credit cards being like power tools. They can be really useful or they can be dangerous.
Bankrate's Ted Rossman says the typical credit card user faces a yearly interest rate that's 5.25 points higher than it was 2 years ago.
If you are financing this at an average interest rate over 20%, that's where it can really add up and be hard to break that cycle.
Card delinquency rates are also up, particularly for borrowers 30 to 39 years old. The rise in the cost of debt also weighing down the U.S. Treasury, hit with a yearly interest bill on the national debt of more than $1 trillion. According to a Bloomberg analysis of Treasury data, annualized interest payments crossed the $1 trillion mark at the end of October. As of this week, the Treasury reported debt held by the public stands at $26.6 trillion.
We have to put forward fiscal plans that will keep the deficit manageable.
Most plans get bogged down by Washington. Democrats support more IRS funding to enforce existing tax law and bring in more revenue. Republicans oppose that and instead have called for cuts to government spending on things like clean energy tax credits. Each day that passes without a set plan to bring down the debt, the taxpayer bill, now and for generations to come, gets bigger and bigger. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra El-Nashar reporting.
Atra, thank you. Let's check in with Greg right now. Greg has, he always keeps us up to date on the national days.
Do you want one?
Oh, you have another one? It was World Kindness Day.
Yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Jen, yeah?
You just mentioned that you have family coming into town for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
When's the last time you cleaned out your refrigerator?
Oh, well, I have 2 teenagers, so I probably do it once a week. But let me guess. Is it National Clean Out the Refrigerator Day?
And the round of applause goes to Jen. If you're going to start stocking up for Thanksgiving, this might be a good day to just kind of take stock of what you got and what you don't need.
Yeah, you know what? We have family visiting right now at our house, waking up with us this morning from Dallas.
Good morning.
I probably should have cleaned out the refrigerator before they got here.
Hey, you know what? There's no
Sorry
shame
about
in
that, y'all.
saying give it an extra little bit. Today is the day to do it. Yesterday wasn't, so you get a free pass until later today. Taking a look, getting your morning cup of coffee. Just make sure the milk and the cream is good. That's one of the biggest things here. Taking a look, 51 degrees at 7 o'clock, 55 at 8, 59 degrees at 9 a.m. Sunrise this morning was at 6:23. We have shown you some great live views of downtown, and we'll continue to do so here as we go through the rest of this morning. It is a very nice forecast. We've been trying to find rain. Unfortunately, I'm taking it away for today and tomorrow. We hoped we'd have this weather maker to our south give us something to work with. It's dying down. We're not going to be seeing rain today or tomorrow. However, Friday, when this cool front off to our north and our west, that big blue line right there moves in, that's our best chance to get some rain in our forecast. Not a ton, but we've had so many dry days and so few days with any rainfall that even a little bit will help. It's not going to crush our drought and get everything back to normal, but it will definitely at least keep things from getting worse as we go into our upcoming weekend.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Campers got a weekend sighting of sunshine and wild horses strolling through Assateague Island National Seashore. The feral horses inhabit the barrier island off the coast of Maryland and Virginia. The National Park Service tells humans not to feed them. Looks like the horses didn't get that memo. And here's a close-up of feathered friends that'll surely snatch your unattended and maybe your attended food.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning here at getting close to our 7 o'clock hour. 6:51 is the time. Quick look at I-24 Waldron Road. As you make that drive in this morning, things are starting to loosen up a little bit here. It's actually a little surprising. Normally we see almost a full stop here, but right now we're doing pretty well on that drive. So it's good to see out there for those of you in that area making that drive in from Murfreesboro and from Smyrna into the Antioch area. Let's take a look at that drive coming in from Sumner County. A bit of a slow go there on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard as you get closer to Conference Drive. You can always try to take Gallatin Road, which is right below. If you see this little piece of road down there, that's actually Gallatin Road down there. Not a lot of cars, so maybe a good way to steer clear. We'll continue to watch it for you.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. An Oklahoma senator has come close to blows with the president of the Teamsters at a Senate Help Committee hearing. All right, this is all working to keep us up to date on meetings involving our unions. And yesterday's exchange became heated very quickly with committee chair Senator Bernie Sanders trying to step in. Watch here and take a listen.
What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every problem?
No, sit down. Sorry, you're a clown. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
Okay. So the two men involved here would be Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, and the other guy was the head of the Teamsters, Sean O'Brien. So they go back and forth. Mullen later tried to challenge the Teamsters president to a real cage match. Bernie Sanders with the gavel there gets in the middle. He tries to get the hearing back to business. So we've got this unfolding. We've got accusations that a Tennessee representative, Tim Burchett, elbowed Kevin McCarthy elbowed him. What in the world is going on? Where's the decorum? 6:54. A story this morning that would be a nightmare for pet owners. A little girl is severely injured after an attack. We'll tell you why. Her mother could be facing charges. And R&B fans, listen up. Boys to Men teaming up with Chili's to bring something back. We'll have the details. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. A mother is now behind bars after a pit bull attacks her 4-year-old daughter. Just a devastating story. It happened in Rutherford County last week, and this is the mom. Deputies say that dog attacked the little girl in her own backyard when the mom wasn't around. Miss Tittle here faces aggravated child abuse and neglect charges and is now behind bars on $120,000 bond.
Getting close to 7 o'clock, you're taking a look at your Code Red forecast and the weekend planner, taking you into Saturday and Sunday, 2 good planning days getting into the Thanksgiving Day weekend. We'll talk about 61 degrees being your temperature on Saturday, if you're lucky. Most of us are going to be in the upper 50s, and then most of us on Sunday right near the 60-degree mark. These are metro temperatures, but think Cumberland Plateau, even down toward the Alabama state line, out toward the Tennessee River. If you get out toward our westernmost counties in western middle Tennessee, you're going to be in the 50s both of these days. So cool. Overnight time temperatures are going to be in the 30s. So if you've not been using the heater lately, and been kind of, saving a couple extra bucks here and there, you may be turning that back on as we go Friday night into Saturday.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 Waldron Road. As you make that drive up there from the Smyrna area, you can see how traffic is moving, but moving slowly. This is the order of the day out there coming in from that area. No major crashes that we can find. This is just congestion as you make that drive in from Rutherford County here this morning. So what does that mean for the drive? Well, it continues to be slow. 84 minutes is what we're talking about as you make that drive in from Rutherford County. You can try to use Murfreesboro Road back here as a good way to steer clear, but it too is going to be very crowded here as we get towards 7 o'clock.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. At 6:59 right now. A warning, what we're about to tell you might be stuck in your head the rest of the day. Do you remember the old Chili's jingle? I want my baby back ribs. Do you remember that? Well, it looks like it's coming back. A reprise with the chain. They've hired Boys II Men to sing the updated version in a new advertising campaign, a nod to the misconception that a lot of people thought the R&B group might have been originally behind the jingle. The song was last used in the mid-2000s. Chili says that the latest version doesn't really stray too far from the original.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Should have never been able to happen.
One stray bullet destroying so many lives. The parents of that slain Belmont student now speaking out. We're going to tell you about their call to action this morning.
And Metro Nashville police now confirm a suspect is in custody after a deadly shooting that happened in a popular tourist area Monday night. The charges he's facing this morning.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll get back with Kylie in a few minutes. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here for you, your live local news source through 9 a.m. Let's get right to our top stories new this hour.
She chose Nashville because it's Music City, and Belmont had a great music business program, and she was loving it. She was really thriving in every way there, and
She was just enjoying a beautiful Tuesday afternoon between classes. She had been enjoying going for runs lately.
Devastating to hear the parents of Jillian Ludwig talk about losing her. They're learning now that they will lay their daughter to rest Friday near their home in New Jersey.
Now, if you don't remember, she is the Belmont University's freshman who was killed by a stray bullet while walking in a park very close to campus. In the meantime, what we're talking about is the fact that the Edge Hill Community Gardens Park is the place where this happened. Jillian was hit by a bullet in the head.
Now, the man accused of pulling the trigger is Shaquille Taylor. According to the district attorney's office, the 29-year-old was in jail earlier this year on an assault charge.
3 doctors deemed him incompetent to stand trial. but not qualified to be committed to a mental hospital. So the charges were dropped and Taylor was released back onto the streets just moments before being arrested again for Jillian's death.
Absolutely heartbreaking, and it's every parent's worst nightmare. And this happened, a few blocks from my own home.
State lawmakers have already started calls for action when they go back to work in January so that what happened to Jillian doesn't happen to anyone else.
So we wanted to know what you thought about this. Should it be easier to commit someone who is a danger to themselves and others? As you can see, according to our latest poll, close to 88% of you say yes. Yes is the answer to that. Yes, it should be. 12% of you say no. You can always vote for yourself by visiting X or Twitter.com. Your handle is at Fox Nashville.
7:02 here on a Wednesday morning, and kids getting up. We're starting to get out the door here for the bus stop and taking a look at what you can expect here throughout the next couple of hours. Right now, right side of your screen, current temperatures are in the upper 30s to low 40s, even near 50 degrees in a few areas that have seen a little more cloud cover overnight. I want to talk about, let's get into it. Travel, Thanksgiving. Now, we're tracking a rainmaker Monday and Tuesday, and then that is it. So if Monday and Tuesday are travel days for you to get out of town or have people come into town, it is only scattered rainfall. This is not going to be severe weather. We have no severe weather or thunderstorm threat for both of those 2 days, so keep that in your mind, but just know that it may be one of those days where there could be a delay here or there getting in, but I don't see cancellations being a big deal right now. 68 degrees, your temperature later today, 72 on your Thursday, maybe Friday, Saturday, or Sunday are your getaway or bring in days when it comes to travel. Those will all be good. Our best chance for rain is on Friday, but once again, just a couple of light scattered showers during the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard there, very close to the Sumner County area, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, right where the two cities meet. You can see where traffic is starting to crowd up out there on Vietnam Vets, and it is making for a slow go. 36 minutes right now on the drive coming in from Mount Juliet, 84 from Murfreesboro, 37 minutes in from Hendersonville, which is part of that drive we just showed you on Vietnam Vets. We will continue to watch the roads, including telling you about something happening over in the Pleasant View area between Pleasant View and Jolton. That drive coming down from the I-24 area starting to get crowded as well.
We have a breaking news update this morning as Metro Nashville police say we now have a man behind bars charged in the death of a woman right outside of an Opryland area hotel. This was the breaking news that we brought you yesterday morning. It happened Monday night. 33-year-old Delano Allen is now charged with criminal homicide. Officers say they arrested him after they found him trying to break into a car at another Midstate motel with a shovel.
Now, according to police, they say Allen got into a fight with the victim as she pulled into the Ramada Inn parking lot around 6 p.m. on Monday night. They believe Allen and the victim did know each other. Police say that the victim is a 45-year-old woman, but they have not released her name. In the meantime, Allen is facing a number of other charges, including 3 counts of assaulting a police officer, as well as attempted vehicle theft and resisting arrest.
We go to Clarksville this morning, where the police department there is looking for 2 people wanted in connection with several burglaries and identity theft as well. Take a look here at your screen. You can see the 2 people they're looking for. Police say the burglaries and the thefts happened on November 4th. Officers responded to Heritage Park and the Clarksville Athletic Club after several people reported their vehicles had been broken into. According to police, the victims had personal items stolen and several transactions were then made with their stolen credit or debit cards. The pictures of these 2 guys right here on your screen captured from video surveillance cameras, along with an image of the car they were in. Anybody with information, please call the Clarksville Police Department.
Well, Fox 17 News viewers You may want to see exactly what's happening with our Metro Police Department as 6 brand new officers just graduated from the Metro Police Academy. You can see the brand new mayor, or the newly installed mayor there, Freddie O'Connell, along with other city officials welcoming in the new officers. We understand that some of these officers are transfers from other departments in other cities. So congratulations to all of them and welcome aboard to the Metro Nashville Police Department there.
Williamson County parents are upset about a big cell phone tower, almost 200 feet tall, going up near Trinity Elementary School.
They claim the tower is a health hazard and a long-term cancer risk. We're going to tell you what some expert organizations are saying about that and let you hear the passion from at least one mother.
And we're getting ready for a busy holiday travel season. Why the Nashville International Airport is ranking in the tops when it comes to worst holiday travel. We'll take a closer look in minutes.
Roscoe Brown is your trust.
7:09 is the time. Live look there in Cool Springs. Good morning out there in Franklin. You can see that drive moving along pretty well for you out there along I-65 at Moore's Lane, but it is not the case everywhere. Drive times are slow, especially coming down from Clarksville this morning. 81 minutes as there is a crash on 24 between Pleasant View and Jolton. You can take Clarksville Highway as a good way to steer clear. In other news this morning, there are some parents in Williamson County who are very upset about the new cell phone tower that is going up very close to an elementary school. Now take a look as our photojournalist was able to stop by and get video of that cell phone tower right next door to Trinity Elementary School. This is off of Murfreesboro Road in Franklin. Now, the tower started to go up back in August. That's when parents started to notice. However, the Williamson County mayor has long talked about the need for better cell phone service there throughout the county and has been behind efforts to put up more towers. However, parents are concerned about potential health risk of having a cell tower that close to a school.
We should not be experimenting with the health and safety of our children. We most certainly should not be placing corporate greed above the health and safety of our children. I, for one, can live without faster cell phone service, but I simply cannot fathom a life without my children. Can you?
Now, I want to make it clear, according to the American Cancer Society, they say there is no strong evidence that exposure to RF waves that come from cell phone towers can cause any noticeable health effects. They also say this does not mean that the RF waves that come from cell phone towers have been proven to be absolutely safe. They say that most expert organizations agree that more research on this particular topic is needed to help clarify.
7:11. Look at your forecast here on your Wednesday. We're getting closer and closer to the weekend, and unfortunately, rain is not getting closer and closer to us. It would look like it on top of the radar. Look at the bottom of your screen. You're going to think, oh, that rain's going to move right here into Middle Tennessee. That is not the case. It tried its best to move to the north, but unfortunately, it's going to move off toward the east because weather is like traffic. Whoever is in charge on the lane sometimes pushes you over a little bit. This is in charge. And that is a cool front moving in that's going to pull all of this away from us. And it'll show you it right here now on Future Track. The rain does not creep in. I mean, aside from a sprinkle, that's all we've got today or tomorrow. The best chance, though, is when that cool front that does take over moves in. Friday afternoon toward the evening hours, a couple of showers. It's not going to be a washout. It will not be an all-day rainer, but there will be some rain that does move in. This is going to be that map that shows you a lot of things that are just not going to look good. We need rain. And maybe if we're lucky, we get 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch worth of rain. And this is the 10-day outlook. So in the next 10 days, 1/2 of an inch of rain. We are almost 9 inches below average for the year.
7:13 is the time. Up next, most towns use traffic revenue from tickets to try and fund operations, but we're going to tell you about one particular Tennessee town that says they do not have a quota, even though there seems to be one in place. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino investigates, coming up in a few minutes.
And one of the busiest times of the year for travel. We'll tell you your best and worst times to get out the door coming up after the break.
This season, it's on.
Got some breaking news with our steer clear traffic. Let's get you straight out to I-24 near Old Hickory Boulevard. This is in the Madison area, okay? What we've got here is a multi-car wreck. It seems to be in the eastbound lanes, right around the exit for Old Hickory Boulevard. This is out here in Cane Ridge. We've seen multiple fire trucks on the scene. Metro Police obviously out there, TDOT out there. They've got traffic down to one lane. Now, normally this is a 4-lane highway with people speeding by at 70 miles per hour. We are now down to just one lane. This is very close to the Cane Ridge High School area there in the Antioch area there as you get towards Rutherford County. Again, we believe this is 24 East, so going towards Murfreesboro. Let me show it to you on the map, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess there. You can see when you get the double red lines there, that's a clear sign that the people on the other side are slowing down just to look at the wreckage from this crash. Best way to steer clear is you can try to use Murfreesboro Road. We'll continue to watch it for you.
7:16, taking a look at your forecast, and I'm getting out of the way. Let's just take a look at your screen. Come on. I mean, when you got that on the screen, you don't need to see me. We've got Cody, our dog of the day, and this will also give you an indication if you've sent in your dog of the day photos and you've asked me again and again, when will my dog be on? This photo was taken back by the 4th of July. We have not gotten through Dogs of the Day since the 4th of July, and we're talking about Thanksgiving right now. I promise you, you're going to get it, but Cody, you are beautiful. Taking a look here. Terry, thank you for sending in this photograph. As far as the dog walking forecast, this is a great day just like yesterday. There are not many variations to our temperature morning into the afternoon. 55 degrees at 8 a.m. Goes to the upper 60s, near 70 later on today. And here's how you get your photo. I told her to get a paper route, and she's like, no. So she just took a picture, and now she's my mailman when it comes to your dog of the day. You go to Facebook right there. You go to meteorologist Greg Bobus. Look at the pin post right there at the top of your screen, and that's where you send your photos to see them right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
All righty, Greg, thank you very much. 7:18. You know, when you get a traffic ticket, you ever wonder, where does that money go exactly? Most towns will use ticket revenue from speeders to help pay for city operations. But when does it cross the line into establishing a ticket quota, which is illegal here in Tennessee?
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino is investigating at least one mid-state town that appears to be basing its entire police budget just off of ticket revenue. Kelly, what are you finding about this?
Well, Justin and Jen, the town of Petersburg, which is 1 square mile in size, about 500 people, is hiring more officers, but with the expectation that they'd write enough tickets to fund that department's expansion, ultimately going from 2 police to 5. Now, the town is in dire shape financially, not able to support this expansion on its own. In a public meeting, I can tell you the police chief said he aims to make the PD, quote, self-sufficient, meaning not relying on tax dollars. Petersburg officers, also ticket drivers up to a mile outside of city limits, which is technically legal. It's a state highway. I can tell you a lot of out-of-towners driving through, and about right where the speed limit changes from 55 to 45 miles an hour. Now, the chief says he's never handed down a ticket quota and that only people speeding over 15 miles an hour are likely to be stopped.
If you're not breaking the law, then you're never going to see us. I have never implemented a quota. My officers are not and have never been ordered to go out and write any certain amount of citations.
Now, during that same public meeting I've been telling you about, the chief handed out the town board a chart outlining anticipated ticket revenue if officers wrote a certain amount of tickets. One line reading, quote, citation expectations are 9 per shift, or about 288 citations a month, totaling $46,000 a month. The town board passing the police department's expansion really based on those numbers because they can't afford it otherwise. So I can tell you, since we started inquiring about this story, Petersburg ticket count turned out well below that chart's projected numbers for the next few months. The chief says residents want more police and that he's just trying to keep the roads safe. State law says that officers in Tennessee cannot be required or even expected to write a certain number of tickets. Now, we've got this whole story and the entire audio from that public meeting on fox17.com. You can listen and decide for yourself. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kelly, thank you. AAA reports it's going to be the busiest Thanksgiving in years. So safe to say we're going to expect now heavy traffic, long lines starting this weekend. AAA says they're expecting more than 1.3 million Tennesseans to travel 50 miles or more.
Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joins us live this morning from Nashville International Airport with more on the big travel plans.
If you plan on flying out of BNA, please be prepared and get those longer wait times. You want to avoid this because we are expecting nearly 40,000 people to be flying in and out of our airports. I'll step out so you can see what we're looking at. Not too busy right now. Of course, it's still very early, but AAA says that this is going to be the highest air travel volume in 15 years. In their latest report released just this week, AAA is forecasting as a whole 1.3 million travelers going from 50 miles or further. Now, this is Tennesseans specifically, most of which who will be getting around by car. And with more people sharing the roads comes greater danger. That's why the travel agency is reminding motorists to slow down and move over for first responders, tow trucks, and of course, those pulled over on the side of the road.
Be patient. When you're out there on the road, you can't be mad at traffic if you are traffic.
As far as flights goes, American Airlines expects to fly 7.8 million passengers on more than 70,000 flights. United projects 5.9 million passengers, and Delta said it will carry as many as 6.4 million passengers. Now, AAA says a total of nearly 55 million people will be traveling across the country on the busiest days. Now, this is going to be usually that Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so that's next week, exactly 7 days from now. And then another busy day is going to be when you're heading home on that Sunday following the holidays. So again, just make sure that you are staying prepared and planning ahead. For now, live at BNA, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting in South Nashville. We're going to tell you about the unusual circumstances that happened after the shots were fired.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:25 is your time right now. Operation Crime and Justice. Metro Nashville police are investigating a deadly shooting after they say the victim got shot. He drove himself to a BP gas station on Old Hickory Boulevard in Nashville, got out of his car, asked somebody for help, and then collapsed right there outside of his car. He later died. Police right now have not released any other information besides what I just told you. We're still working to get details about a potential suspect. So as we get those updates, we'll bring them to you here live through 9 a.m. Also this morning, looking ahead to Black Friday and the new Tanger Outlet Mall here in the Mid-State, along with Tanger outlets across the U.S., are being targeted by criminals. From Memphis to Louisiana, we've even had reports here at home. Authorities say they are on high alert, because these thieves are walking into these stores and walking out with thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. We've been getting a lot of tips in here to our newsroom about Nashville's new Tanger outlet being the latest target. The authorities have not confirmed that just yet, but we are working to gather more information. Please, folks, be safe when you're out there shopping, no matter where you are. All right? Be aware of your surroundings, and you can help your community stay in the know. If there's something you want us to investigate, maybe you saw what happened here at home at a mall where, thieves ran in and ran out. You can share information like that with us. We'll keep it confidential as we work with you to tackle important issues in your community. You can also follow us on our social media sites, and don't forget to sign up to get our daily newsletter. You can do that at fox17.com.
Getting close to 7:30 here this morning at 7:27, just in case that specific time really does help, because I know every little minute counts getting out the door in the morning. Get your breakfast if you're going for it right now. Nothing should slow you down when it comes to weather. Getting up and out the door, just like the first couple of days this week, today looks very similar in suit. 59 degrees at 9 a.m., 64 at 10, 67 degrees at 11. Right side of your screen, we're above average already. We have temperatures that are already easing into the 40s and 50s. This is what we need. We've got two Only 2, but they're there. They're better than nothing. Chances for rain. One of them on Friday. Small amount of rainfall. It'll be in the afternoon toward the evening, then it's done. Weekend dries down, gets a little bit cooler, but taking a look here, Monday into Tuesday. This one, I'm not gonna lie, this one's got me a little excited. This one could actually bring in maybe a half of an inch to an inch of rain. Cut into our drought just a little bit. We'll talk more about that next half hour.
All right, Greg, thanks. And a quick check of steer clear traffic. The crash remains, and so does the backup on I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is heading out from Nashville, going out toward Antioch. Good news is we've watched them move the crash over to the far right shoulder, but still a big impact. We'll work on your detours and get you more updates in the next few minutes. A controversial mid-state alderman resigns. We'll tell you about Gabrielle Hansen's notice to the city of Franklin.
Pixent helps you do more.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Any wages that or checks that they make every week, they're using that as a weekly income.
Nearly 40 workers say they've been shorted on their pay. Fox 17 News working to find out how this has happened, and we're hearing from groups that are now advocating for worker protections in Nashville.
Looking for rain in every place we can find it. I've got 3 days in the next 7, but there's a good chance for it coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us out to I-24. We're still watching that crash near Old Hickory Boulevard. This is going outbound, but it's affecting traffic in both directions. I'll explain why. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 7:30 on your Wednesday. I'm Justin McFarland.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Yeah, glad to be here for you as your live local news source through 9 a.m. Our top story this half hour, the workers we just mentioned who say they haven't been paid in months and they're owed more than $50,000.
They say they've been doing this work over in the Germantown area. But now a workers' rights organization is calling on the local and state government to help pass laws to better protect the workers. Now we're talking about 37 carpenters who are working on a project at the Rome building in Germantown. They say they have not been paid since February. They say they are owed for weeks worth of work and overtime. Workers' Dignity is a volunteer organization, and they explain if the contractors decide not to pay these workers, there's very little the workers can actually do about it.
We've asked for direct calls to accountability around the Rome building that have gone unreturned in the way of like an actual response, like an actual call to action.
Now we have reached out to the developer, Greenpoint, the contractor. They are Associated Construction, as well as the subcontractor. Their name is Elevate Concrete, for a response, but we did not hear back from anyone. Workers' Dignity plans to go to the site themselves coming up on November the 18th to try and speak with the workers and spread awareness about this issue.
At 7:33 right now, we have a Fox 17 News alert. Controversial Franklin alderman Gabrielle Hansen is no longer on the job. According to an announcement made during a meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen last night, they found out that Ms. Hansen resigned Monday. So a bit of a delayed acknowledgement here. The group had been meeting to talk about the possible censure of Ms. Hansen, but the alderman said that wasn't needed because they found out she had sent an email that she resigned. Additionally, Ms. Hansen's profile has now been removed from the City of Franklin's website.
7:34 is the time. We're going to talk to Greg Bovis right now. He's got a look at your forecast here. And Greg, we are always watching for the possibility of rain. I would say more rain, but we need any rain.
Any bit.
Anything.
Yeah.
Can we get a drop? I mean,
you know,
at this
Greg,
point.
people are cutting the dust out there.
I've seen that.
They're cutting the weeds.
Nashville.
They're cutting the weeds and the.
I've seen the dust clouds flying around my neighborhood. Like, what are you cutting?
I was driving down the road the other day and I thought, oh no, there's a fire. No. It was just the dust kicking up from somebody trying to
just bored.
cut what's left of their grass.
I'm cutting the grass that hasn't grown in 4.5 weeks.
It's just a weekly habit, so they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Not a lot of rain. We'll try to find what we can here. We'll also talk about Thanksgiving, your Thanksgiving travel. A lot of moving parts here to the forecast this time of the year. And really, there is not a lot of rain. We've not seen all that much in the last month. We're a good inch and a half shy of what we're supposed to be for just this month. We're only halfway through it. We are close to 9 inches below what we're supposed to this time of the year. Cooler temperatures for Thanksgiving Day on the 23rd. And we'll talk about a sunny and dry forecast. And taking a look at the right side of your screen, current temps are in the 40s and 50s. So we're starting off good. We're going to be comfortably warm. We just have to find that rain. And Friday is the day that I'm pinpointing for this week. Monday is the day that I am pointing going into next week.
Clear traffic out there for you this morning at 7:35. Quick look here at I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is over in the eastbound side, so going towards Murfreesboro is what we're talking about here. It's still causing a delay even on the westbound side because, well, people are nosy. People want to see what's going on. So looky-loos, slowing things down a little bit. You could try to use things like, Old Nashville Highway, Murfreesboro Pike, to try to get around this. But in all honesty, this time of the morning, it's just going to be slow no matter how you slice it right now. Talking about an hour and 20 minutes or so to get into Murfreesboro, to get from Murfreesboro rather to downtown Nashville. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
Well, AAA has now released their holiday travel forecast, and they are expecting pre-pandemic numbers. They're saying the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in years.
Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is live for us this morning from Nashville International Airport with an update about how you can plan for the big travel days ahead.
Yeah, calm behind me right now, but it's really just the calm before the storm. Now, if you are going to be heading out to BNA for the Thanksgiving holiday, keep in mind those lines behind me are going to be much longer. Now, if you're going to be hitting the road, we can't expect lots of heavy traffic because AAA says that we will see 1.3 million Tennesseans, both in the air and on the road, going 50 miles or more. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving and then Sunday after the holiday are usually your busiest travel days. And if you're driving, the worst time to get out will be 2 to 6 p.m. on that Wednesday or 3 to 5 on that Sunday. And while the average price for domestic flights is up 5% compared to last year, AAA says that gas prices are a little bit lower. The travel agency is urging people to move and be respectful and mindful of first responders, tow truck drivers, and those on the side of the road, because with more drivers means more dangers on the roads.
I got a job to do, and if everybody just follow the rule, slow down and move over, we can make it home.
Now, American Airlines expects to fly 7.8 million passengers on more than 70,000 flights. United projects 5.9 million passengers. Delta is looking at as many as 6.4 million passengers. And as far as those flyers here locally, or at least in Tennessee, AAA is expecting 40,000 travelers. So again, you're going to want to be prepared and plan ahead because I know you've done it, I've done it. Run through the airport, darting cars out on the road. We don't want to do it. You want to make it to your family and friends for the holiday. But again, just be prepared. We're going to be here next week to cover all of that traffic as well. For now, live at BNA, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It can be an adventure if you're not careful. All right, thank you, Kylie. Well, 'tis the season of giving out in Brentwood. And that includes for their fire and rescue department. They are now collecting toys for Toys for Tots.
We'll tell you when and where you can donate. Plus, we have dozens of dogs that have now been rescued from a hoarding situation in South Central Kentucky. Where these dogs are recovering in the mid-state this morning.
All-wheel drive season.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 7:41 and we've got steer clear traffic issues abound around the mid-state. One of the issues right now is at I-65. This looks like it's at Dickerson Pike. I do believe this is north of Nashville. Big old backup coming in to downtown. Now, unfortunately, as we've been tracking, that's kind of the new norm, all right? Just know it's there. Also, I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This crash still impacting traffic outbound from Nashville, going down toward Antioch, Laverne, and Smyrna. It looks like they're in more of the clearing stages, but not only causing the backup heading out, but also coming into Nashville because of all those looky-loos, as Justin said, the rubbernecking delays. So Justin has mentioned some of your good detours. You could take Highway 41 to come in as a good detour option. We'll get another check of steer clear traffic in just a few minutes. New this morning, Animal Rescue Corps, also known as ARC, now says that dozens of dogs are safe after they were rescued from a hoarding and breeding operation in south central Kentucky. Look at all those sweet babies. The group says they responded to a request from the Hart County Animal Control just yesterday. So they get out there. They found about 60 large breed dogs, along with puppies that are only a few weeks old and their moms. The puppies and the moms are now in foster care. The remaining dogs are receiving ARC's Rescue Care Center in Gallatin. So that's where they're being cared for right now.
Well, Christmas will be coming sooner rather than later for the Brentwood Fire and Rescue Department. They are now collecting Toys for Tots. The donations will be accepted at several of the drop-off locations. You can see them right here along the side of the road here, or along the side of the screen, excuse me. And they're going to be accepting these. These locations are going to be open between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. They're asking that if you want to go out to any Brentwood fire and rescue location, also the local library, the John P. Holt Library, also the Brentwood Service Center is a good place, and of course the Brentwood Police Department is a good place for you to drop off there as well.
Justin, thank you very much. Greg left us some notes on the weekend outlook. Much cooler than what we even were forecasting yesterday. So high of 58 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, calm and breezy, and really no chances for rain over the weekend.
Well, coming up in the next few minutes, are you a rideshare driver? If so, listen up, because Uber is making some major changes. We're going to tell you what they are. Coming up here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning at 7:46. Ticket quotas. They're technically illegal in Tennessee, but there can be a gray area, as we're learning. Most towns use money from speeding tickets to help pay for different city operations. But what we're working to find out is, depending on ticket revenue and how budgets are determined, could there be a line that's being crossed?
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino has been investigating at least one town that appears to be walking that line very closely, and they're funding a lot of things just off of ticket revenue. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Justin and Jen. The town of Petersburg, which is 1 square mile, about 500 people, is expanding its police department, going from 2 officers to 5, but with the expectation that the PD would write enough tickets to fund that expansion. So the town is struggling financially, not able to support doubling the police department's budget on its own. In a public meeting, the police chief said he aims to make the PD, quote, self-sufficient, meaning not relying on tax dollars.
Our end goal is, like I said, just to be sufficient, and to be basically an easement on the taxpayers and the city to where you guys can funnel money that you're normally budgeting for us somewhere else. But just case in point, I've written 18 citations in one shift. Mark's written 26 in about a shift and a half. So the probability of us just writing 2 citations per shift is not going to happen.
Now, during that same public meeting, the chief handed the town board this chart outlining anticipated ticket revenue if officers wrote a certain number of tickets. One line reads, citation expectations are 9 per shift, or 288 per month. That totals about $46,000 a month. The town board passed that police department expansion based on those numbers that you're looking at. Now, I can tell you, since we started inquiring about this story, Petersburg ticket count turned out well below that chart's projected numbers for the next few months. So the chief says residents want more police. He's trying to make the roads safer, and he says he's never handed down a ticket quota. State law saying that officers in Tennessee cannot be required or even expected to write a certain number of tickets. Well, we've got the whole story and the entire audio from that public meeting on fox17.com. You can listen and decide for yourself. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. Well, it's not your typical thief. Listen, we love sharing your videos and photos with you. So you can check out this bear burglar, I believe. coming out from the from an area there as the bear tried to break into a car.
How funny. Lisa Guttamson said this ain't his first rodeo. Like, in other words, this bear knew exactly what it was doing and what it was looking for.
Look at that.
That cracks me up.
Yeah, the bear is, yanking on the car. They're like, come on. Maybe I forgot my keys inside. Let me go back inside. I hate when that happens.
Listen, that's why they say, like park leaders and tourism leaders will tell you if you were going somewhere like the Smoky Mountains, okay, where we know you're likely to run into a bear, don't even leave food in your car. Say you had snacks from your road trip, right? And you got some packages of goldfish in the back seat from the kids. Don't leave them in there. They say bears can smell your food up to a mile away.
Yeah. Picking up the aroma of that picnic basket from all across East Tennessee. Let's get to Greg Volbes. He's going to tell us which way the rain may be traveling in from, if we get any at all.
That we will. And we're talking about Thanksgiving travel here because the only good chance of rain we have this entire week is going to be on Friday. Small, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of rain. That's it. However, Monday and Tuesday, maybe you're leaving or you're having people come into town, and that is your travel time period, Monday into Tuesday. There are a few scattered showers that are going to be out there. This is our most substantial rain chance in the next 7 days. Severe weather? Nope. Flooding? No. Fixing our drought? No. But rain? Yes. We're still in the all clear when it comes to our code red threat level. All eyes are going to be on Friday for this week and then Monday into Tuesday for next week. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We have got 68 degrees for today. We're going to spend a little extra time on this 7-day because look at how many different things happen in the next 7 days, and most of them are not rain related but temperature related now. 68 degrees today, 72 tomorrow, 66 on Friday. Not a big change day to day. Once that rain moves out Friday into Saturday and Sunday, I want you to focus on the bottom of your screen right now. Temperatures this morning are already in the 40s and 50s. We'll be there tomorrow morning. We'll be there on Friday morning. And then we're back to cold temps. You're going to want to have the heater on. We're going to have frost. We're going to have some icy windshields here in the upper elevated areas. Think Cumberland Plateau. If you're waking up there with us this morning, good morning and thank you. But this weekend's going to end up being one of those weekends where you're going to work back into those late fall feelings.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard in the Cane Ridge area. As you can see, traffic is still crawling along, even though they do have most of the lanes reopened now. At one point, it was just one lane open. It was causing huge delays. So let's take a look at those drive times. Clarksville coming in at 72 minutes, still dealing with some delays in the Pleasant View area. As I just mentioned, Murfreesboro, 74 minutes. All these times are coming down. Franklin, 33 minutes from I-65.
Making your ride-share experience a little safer, Uber has just announced their Record My Ride free in-app driver dash cam. That's expanding here in the U.S., so more drivers can now use their smartphone camera to record the trips.
All right, this is a safety measure being put into place. Uber also announced a few other features and policy changes. The company is hoping to continue to create a safer environment for both passengers and drivers as we move into the holiday season.
At 7:53 right now, not everybody likes to do the Black Friday shopping, right?
Fair enough.
Some people that don't like the crowds.
The crowds,
the chaos,
the hustle, the fighting over the last pair of shoes in a size 9. Yeah.
Throwing elbows and stuff.
Throwing elbows and rushing and running. Now, there is a guided or self-directed hike instead that will happen on November 24th.
It's a little more tranquil, a little more zen-like.
A little bit more zen out there,
okay,
in case your zen is not in the mall.
We've got them here in the Mid-State for all ages, all abilities, ranging from an easy stroll to rugged excursions. And among some of the options would be a hike to the beautiful Crystal Falls at Pickett Memorial State Park. You could also take a 2-mile hike at Bledsoe Creek State Park, and there are lots of other options.
So park leaders say be sure to bring some sturdy hiking shoes, as well as a day pack, water, and snacks to end up out there on the trail. Also, be sure to check your weather before you go out. If you decide to go that route, check in with Greg first. One of Nashville's largest events is now back in town. We're going to tell you how you and your family can look forward to visiting Zoolumination over at the Nashville Zoo.
And have you heard about the dog that can talk?
Kinda.
This dog is a viral sensation. The dog's name is Bunny, and it's a sheepadoodle, changing the way that animals communicate.
Wow.
Coming up in our next half hour, we have an interview with Bunny's owner as she details how she's trained her dog to talk and hopefully how it could help others.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning as we take a look, or we would like to, at our top trending stories online. Forgive our technical difficulty there.
I think we're locked in on the Zoom screen. So let's look ahead to the weekend. We've got lots of college football action Saturday. A triple header right here on Fox 17 starts at 11 when Michigan plays Maryland. Then we've got Oregon playing Arizona, and the last game of the day will be Texas at Iowa State, 6:30.
Then on Sunday, the NFL back in action. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, fresh off their win over the Titans, taking on the San Francisco 49ers at game 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. You can catch it right here on Fox 17.
Well, a family and fan favorite in the Mid-State is back for this holiday season. Zoolumination, the country's largest Chinese lantern festival, will return to the Nashville Zoo starting tomorrow.
Yeah, the event will feature more than 1,000 custom-made silk lanterns. Now, the festival will run through the month of December. For more information on the tickets, you can always go over to our website. You can find it at fox17.com.
Good morning. Taking a look here, going into our 8 o'clock hour. Sometimes you just get caught off guard when you see a beautiful picture, and that's what just happened right there. That is our dog of the day, Cody. And people have been asking me a lot recently, because we've had so many submissions for dog of the day. When is my dog going to be on TV? This picture was taken around the 4th of July. That's how many submissions we have had. I promise you, stay patient, wake up with us every morning, and you will see your submission right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Cody, you are beautiful here. And taking a look, Terry, thank you for sending in that picture. We do have temperatures that will be in the upper 50s at 9 o'clock. We'll be in the upper 60s at 3 p.m. Going in toward the afternoon for your dog walking forecast. We'll be right near 70. Won't quite hit that number today.
Steer clear traffic. We continue to watch that crash on I-24. They've got the tow truck in place, so they're almost out of there. We're going to give you a complete look at your traffic from all sides of town. Coming up here in the next few minutes, we can tell you that we are doing okay, just okay as far as your traffic is concerned, but we do have a number of slow spots out and about. We'll give you all the updates coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, which starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
The parents of a Belmont student killed by a stray bullet are now speaking out. The man on your screen, the one who stands charged. What those parents feel like could have prevented their daughter's death and the role they're playing moving forward.
Looking ahead to the Thanksgiving travel next week. We could see some showers and some thunderstorms maybe out there, maybe in the next few days. Greg Bobus will have the details on all that coming up in a few.
And coming up, the calm before the storm, one of the busiest travel days of the year. We'll have all the details on what you need to know.
All right, thank you so much, Kylie, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, November the 15th, a Wednesday morning. I'm Justin McFarland.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are always your live local news source. We've got you covered through 9 a.m. When the other stations go to their national programming, that's pre-recorded in our time zone. It's not live, but we've got you covered for the next hour.
Well, we are talking about a story this morning that we've been talking about, unfortunately, for a couple of weeks now. And we are hearing for the first time from the parents of Jillian Ludwig. She is the 18-year-old who died in that shooting. She was from Belmont University. We learned overnight that she will be laid to rest in her hometown in New Jersey coming up on Friday.
Now, Belmont University has mourned her death. She was killed when a stray bullet hit her in the head. She was just walking at the Edge Hill Community Gardens Park near campus, minding her own business when the shots rang out. Metro Police have charged Shaquille Taylor for firing those shots that hit Ludwig. Now, the police report, as we saw it initially, showed that he was firing into a car that was driving along the street in between a housing project and this park where Jillian was walking. And one of those bullets hit her in the head. Now, we've also learned that just a few months ago, this 29-year-old Taylor had been found incompetent to stand trial for aggravated assault. Those charges got dismissed. He was released back onto the streets. And now Jillian Ludwig's parents are pushing state lawmakers to close a loophole in our state law that allows dangerous people found incompetent to still walk free.
We haven't heard much, but we've heard about his rap sheet, and we know that it was just unthinkable that, he shot a teenager and he shot at a mother and her children and was still on the street to shoot my little girl in the middle of the day. So there's a failure, there's a breakdown in the system, and it really, there's no excuse for it.
Whew. Matt and Jessica Ludwig say they will be traveling here to Nashville so they can be at Shaquille Taylor's future court hearings as well as his trial.
We want to know what you think about this particular story. Should it be easier to commit someone who is a danger to themselves and others? Right now, we have 6 hours left in our poll, and close to 300 of you have voted saying yes, 88% saying yes, it should be easier to commit someone who is a danger to themselves and others. The poll is still open, as I mentioned, for another 6 hours. You can head to our X page. The handle is @Fox Nashville.
We have a breaking news update this morning as Metro Police say they have arrested the man who is charged now with the death of a woman outside of a Opryland area hotel.
Very popular tourist spot. This is the man they've now arrested. Delano Allen, charged with criminal homicide after police arrested him while they say he was trying to break into a car at another mid-state motel with a shovel.
Police say that Allen got into a fight with the victim as she pulled into the Ramada Inn parking lot around 6 p.m. on Monday. They believe Allen and the victim did know each other. Police say that the victim is a 45-year-old woman, but that's all the details they've released about her so far. Allen does face a number of charges, and you saw his mugshot. Let me give you the charges to go along with it. 3 counts of assaulting a police officer, attempted vehicle theft, and resisting arrest. Put together the pieces there.
8:04 right now. We're going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bovis. Greg, it's been a long time since we've had any Code Red weather.
It has been a very long time since even a drop of rain really here across most of Middle Tennessee. We'll try to find a little bit for you on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Maybe you're trying to get a little extra motivated so you can have a couple of extra helpings next week. So your jogging forecast here, you get those couple extra calories burned down, you can just rack them right back up. Going into next week, 64 degrees by 10 o'clock. We'll be in the upper 60s, right near 70, leading in toward the afternoon. A little bit of a breeze out there, but by no means a day where we have anything to be concerned about. John's right, we have not had a Code Red day in a very long time. Bus routes wrapping up this morning when the kids get home later today. No big changes. Here is your 7-day forecast. We'll get you right to it. 68 degrees later on this afternoon, 72 tomorrow. 66 degrees on your Friday, and then upper 50s to right near 60. I've dropped the temps a little bit for the weekend. I'll tell you why coming up in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at what we're dealing with on I-65 as you move through the Cool Springs area. Traffic a bit slow out there this morning coming in from Williamson County. No crashes have we found out there on the interstate. This is just typical traffic for this time of the morning. But as I mentioned, it can be a little slower than what we've seen over the last few days here. 43 minutes on the drive coming in right now from Franklin. Here's the drive coming in from Murfreesboro, right around the Antioch area. We're still dealing with that crash at I-24, very close to Old Hickory Boulevard in the Cane Ridge area. At one point, all lanes were just about blocked. They had 1 lane open. Now, thankfully, 4 lanes open, but still a delay there on the shoulder.
AAA has already come out and said we're going to see the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in years. We are expecting heavy traffic at the airport, A lot of traffic out on the roads.
Yeah.
AAA expecting more than 1.3 million Tennesseans will travel 50 miles or more.
Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joined us live this morning from BNA with a little bit more about what we are seeing on the skies and on the roads.
If you plan on flying out of BNA for the Thanksgiving holiday, make sure that you are prepared and planning ahead, because those lines behind me are going to get much longer. We want to be patient because there will be nearly 40,000 people flying in and out of our airports, according to AAA. I'll step out so you can see a little bit about what we're looking here. Again, it's nice and quiet, but it's still very early for those travels. Now, this will be the highest air travel time or volume in 15 years. Now, in their latest report released just this week, AAA is forecasting as a whole 1.3 million Tennessee travelers going 50 miles or further, most of which will be getting around by car. With more people sharing the roads comes greater risks. That's why the travel agency is reminding motorists to slow down and move over for first responders, tow trucks, and of course, those pulled over on the side of the road.
Be patient. When you're out there on the road, you can't be mad at traffic if you are traffic.
As far as flights go, American Airlines expects to fly 7.8 million passengers on more than 70,000 flights. United projects 5.9 million passengers, and Delta said it will carry as many as 6.4 million passengers. Now, AAA says a total of nearly 55 million people will be traveling, coming in from all across the country. That's just all travelers total throughout the United States. Keep in mind, the busiest times to travel are going to be that Tuesday, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then also that Sunday as you're heading home right after the holiday. For now, live at BNA, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kylie, thank you so much. Well, Williamson County parents are upset about a 200-foot cell phone tower that's going up very close to an elementary school.
We're going to take a closer look as to why they feel like this is an overall health hazard. Plus, Metro Nashville police investigating a deadly shooting in South Nashville. How officers say they found the victim. Still to come.
It's Trolls Night.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you over to I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. Been dealing with a crash over there for the last hour or so. Glad to report it seems like the crash is completely clear. At one point, the road was shut down to just one lane of that busy interstate. So it's still slow, but now at least the accident is fully out of your way. So things should loosen up, we hope. A little bit later, we're going to check in on other areas of town coming up in a few. What new this morning, some Williamson County parents are very upset about the fact that a brand new cell phone tower is going up very close to an elementary school. Now, our photojournalist stopped by the Trinity Elementary School just off of Murfreesboro Road in Franklin to see that tower that a lot of parents were complaining about. It started to go up in August. The Williamson County mayor has long talked about the need for better cell phone service in the area, but parents are concerned about the potential health risk of having a cell tower that close to a school.
So I ask a question of all of you. If there was a 5 to 10% chance that one of your children or grandchildren would develop terminal cancer simply from going to school, if you were faced with a decision of a 5 to 10, 15% chance of getting terminal cancer from working from home, from living your life, from sending your children to school, would you do it? Would you do it? Or would you move? Would you abandon your community, your support system, all of your friends? Would you uproot your children and take them away from their friends simply to ensure their health and safety?
Now, it's important to point out at this point that the American Cancer Society says there is no strong evidence that exposure to the RF waves that come from cell phone towers causes any noticeable health effects. However, they say it does not mean that the RF waves from the towers have been proven to be absolutely safe. They say more research is needed to help clarify.
And here, coming up, taking a look at Doppler radar, rain to our south. That's not coming our way. Our next rain chances in your Code Red forecast.
Plus a doggy genius. We're going to be talking to Bunny, the internet famous dog that is changing the way that animals communicate.
Fox 17 News.
Take a look at the video here on your screen. Over the past few years, there has been one dog that's been taking over social media, and her name is Bunny. Bunny, the talking dog.
All right. So Bunny was trained, as you could see in that video. Bunny has been trained to communicate by tapping paws on buttons that equate to words that we use every day.
Yes.
Well, Bunny's mama, Alexis Devine, recently released a book about the process of teaching Bunny to talk. And the book takes a closer look at how dogs think and feel.
So joining us live this morning via Zoom is Bunny and her mom, Alexis, to talk to us about exactly how this process began. Alexis, good morning. When do you know that you had something here? When did you know that this was not your average dog?
Well, you know, I knew from day one that she wasn't your average dog. I was instantaneously smitten. She's the cutest thing ever. But one of the things that I did before bringing Bunny home was place an outside button by the door. I'd seen someone on Instagram that was using recordable buttons to communicate with their own dog. And I would press the button every time we went outside. I would say the word outside. We would go outside and have a little outside party. And after about 3 weeks, one day she pressed it herself and then it was game on. I thought to myself, if she can do one button, why not 5? If she can do 5, why not 100? So we've been building our board ever since then, adding words and exploring concepts.
So dogs are brilliant. They're so smart.
Yes.
And I think we have dogs. We love our dogs. And we've always said, gosh, I wish they could talk to us. I wish they could tell us what they're thinking. And this system that you've created, because it's a big system now that you have put together, can help them do that. But am I also correct in understanding, Alexis, that you are doing a lot of this for research purposes, yes?
Yeah, Bunny is part of a study at the Comparative Cognition Lab at UC San Diego. It's run by Federico Rossano. There are thousands of active participants, and it's actually the largest citizen science canine cognition study ever attempted.
Wow. And so what if someone is watching and listening this morning and they're thinking, I want to try this with my dog? Can they find those buttons somewhere? How did you come up with all this?
Yeah, well, AAC, which is what these buttons are known as, augmentative and alternative communication, have been in use with nonverbal children since the 70s, and we've sort of augmented it for use with interspecies communication. And Fluent Pet is the company whose system I use, and with they've got the tiles that are sort of compartmentalized, so each button housing has a certain meaning, like one of them is people, one of them is places, one of them is things, so that your learner can compartmentalize where each of those words are and sort of, in hope, make a sentence.
Fascinating.
And
you know, Bunny with the scarf there, just chilling, relaxing.
Bunny's actually said a lot during this interview. Just his overall vibe has spoken to me this morning. Alexis Devine, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, people can continue to follow them out on social media.
Bye, Alexis. Bye, Bunny.
Bye, Bunny. Well, yeah, I'm sold. I'm getting the book because the thing is, I got to realize, I know that if I got my dog buttons and taught it, that it would just keep slamming the button over and over. So how do we compartmentalize not overdoing it and get it to work the right way and talk the language? The whole thing's fascinating. Taking a look here, Doppler radar, nothing that's going to be here down to the south moving in our way. We hoped Monday into Tuesday, and even really Sunday into Monday, that some of this rain would make its way to the north, but look, it's just stuck. It is stuck down there to our south. This is gonna move in. That's going to push away any chance for rain today and tomorrow, outside of maybe a sprinkle in our southernmost counties later this afternoon. If you don't catch a raindrop, don't be surprised you didn't catch a raindrop. However, the afternoon toward the evening for your Friday, light rainfall will move in. A cool front will move in. What does that do for temperature? Upper 60s, low 70s today and tomorrow, and we'll continue with that trend on Friday. Then the weekend. This is a very cool weekend. 58 degrees on Saturday, 60 on Sunday.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get started over on the south side of town. Things have loosened up quite a bit at I-65 near Boers Lane as you make that drive in from the Franklin area. Thank goodness we're doing a lot better out there on the drive. That drive time is around 43 minutes a few moments ago. Now we believe we're down into the 30s here, around 37 minutes on that drive. Let's take a look at another thing we're following. We've already cleared one crash on 24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. Now we've got a disabled vehicle at I-24 at OHB. Looks like they're digging in the back seat, trying to find whatever it is that they need. Hopefully, TDOT, somebody can come help them along. In the meantime, give them some space. Mr. Car that just drove by, don't walk the tightrope. Give them some space out there as they try to operate.
Operation Crime and Justice right now. Metro Nashville police are investigating a deadly shooting. They say after that person had been shot, he drove himself to a BP gas station on Old Hickory Boulevard in Nashville, got out of the car, was trying to ask for help, and then collapsed and later died. So police right now, that's all they've been able to tell us. We're working to get more information. As soon as we learn more, we'll keep you updated on air and online.
Well, most towns across the mid-state use revenue from traffic tickets to try and help pay for some city services and operation. But when does that become a ticket quota? And it's against the law here in Tennessee. So Kelly Avellino has been investigating at least one Tennessee town, and she's going to tell us what she found. Plus, seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that is related to a lot of changes happening here within the season.
Yeah, and still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, we have an interview with a mental health expert who can help you get through the winter slump.
When you get a traffic ticket, where does that money go? Well, most towns do use revenue from speeding tickets to help pay for city operations. But when does it cross a line into a ticket quota, which is illegal in Tennessee? So the town of Petersburg, which is 1 square mile in size, about 500 people, is hiring more officers, but with the expectation that they'd write enough tickets to fund that department's entire PD expansion, ultimately going from 2 full-time officers to 5 full-time officers. So the town is in dire shape financially, not able to support this expansion on its own. In a public meeting, the police chief said he aims to make the PD, quote, self-sufficient, meaning not relying on tax dollars. Petersburg officers, also ticket drivers, I can tell you, up to a mile outside city limits, which technically is legal, but that's on a state highway with lots of out-of-towners driving through and about right where the speed limit changes from 55 to 45 miles. So the chief says he never handed down a quota and that only people speeding over 15 miles an hour are likely to be stopped.
If you're not breaking the law, then you're never going to see us. I have never implemented a quota. My officers are not and have never been ordered to go out and write any certain amount of citations.
Now, during that same public meeting, the chief handed the town this chart outlining anticipated ticket revenue if officers wrote a certain number of tickets. One line reading citation expectations are 9 per shift or 288 citations a month, totaling about $46,000 a month. Now, the town board passing the police department expansion based on those numbers. And I can tell you, since we started inquiring about this story at the end of July, Petersburg's ticket count turned out well below that chart's projected numbers for the next few months. The chief says residents want more police. He's just trying to make the roads safer. State law says officers in Tennessee cannot be required or even expected to write a certain number of tickets. So we've got the whole story and the audio from that public meeting on fox17.com. You can listen to the whole thing and decide for yourself. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:27, taking a look at your forecast really quickly. Let's just focus on your weekend here. This could be that good planning weekend for the upcoming Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, I said the words. We're that close at this point. Look at the calendar. If you've not done your shopping yet, or maybe you have to get the turkey out of the freezer on Sunday going into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this is your forecast for that day. At 61 degrees on Saturday, 63 on Sunday. No rain chances there. Nighttime temperatures get much, much cooler. We're talking 40s and 50s right now to wake up to. Next week, we're lucky to be in the upper 20s into the 30s.
And coming up, the calm before the storm, one of the busiest travel days of the year. We'll have all those details you need to know after the break.
When I get asked what
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, 8:30 on the dot on this Wednesday. I'm Justin McFarland.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news team that's here for you through 9 a.m. 30 minutes to go right now. Let's get to our top stories. At Fox 17 News Alert, controversial Franklin Alderman Gabrielle Hansen is no longer on the job. In fact, according to an announcement made during a meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen overnight, Ms. Hansen resigned her position Monday. It took a few days for them to figure this out through email, but the group had been meeting already to talk about the possible censure of Ms. Hansen, but the alderman said that wasn't needed because she sent in an email resigning. Now, additionally, Ms. Hansen's profile has been removed from the City of Franklin's website. I do want to just make a note here. If you are unfamiliar with this story and wondering, well, why did she resign or why were they trying to censure her? We have an entire series of stories at fox17.com that go back to several different instances that have led to the controversy. So I would encourage you to head to fox17.com. You can read up on it there.
Been going on for several months at this point.
Yeah.
Well, AAA has now released their holiday travel forecast, and they say we are expected to hit pre-pandemic numbers when it comes to the people getting out there in the sky and on the road.
All right, so let's send it out to Fox 17 News reporter Kylie Walker. She's live at Nashville International Airport. Kylie, it's been a steady flow of traffic already behind you, and we're not even into the peak travel days yet.
Yeah, there is a steady flow behind us. So we were talking, my photographer and I on the break, we're not seeing many people with cowboy boots and cowboy hats. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of that as the time gets closer to the Thanksgiving and the holiday pickup. But keep in mind, if you're going to be traveling out here to BNA, expect those long wait times, both outside when you're driving in and then also those lines right behind me. Now, if you are going to be hitting the road, keep in mind you can expect some areas of very heavy traffic. This is because AAA says that Tennesseans, there will be 1.3 million Tennesseans on the road and in the air traveling 50 miles or more for the holiday. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving and then the Sunday after the holiday are usually the busiest travel days. If you're driving, the worst time to get around will be 2 to 6 p.m. on that Wednesday or 3 to 5 p.m. on that Sunday. While the average price for domestic flights is up 5% compared to last year, AAA says gas prices should stay lower. But the travel agency is urging people to be respectful and mindful of first responders and tow truck drivers as well as those on the side of the road, because with more drivers means more of a risk.
I got a job to do, and if everybody just follow the rule, slow down and move over, we can make it home.
American Airlines expects to fly 7.8 million passengers on more than 70,000 flights. United projects 5.9 million passengers, and Delta is looking at as many as 6.4 million passengers. Now, as far as here locally in Tennessee, we are expecting nearly 40,000 people that will be flying. So make sure you're giving yourself enough time. As I mentioned earlier, you don't want to be darting through this airport or out by the cars. I know you've done it, I've done it, we've all done it, but you want to see your family and friends for the holiday. So just make sure that you are prepared. For now, live at BNA, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Travel, a real big thing here for us. Every single year we talk about it. What can we expect? When can we get out? What is the weather going to do? This is that time of the year where people love me or they hate me. I'm going to tell you right now, there's not much to hate about the weather when it comes to rain chances. Isolated showers Friday into Saturday. And I mean the most isolated of rain showers that will be there. Rainfall, most likely Monday into Tuesday. Most of that will be north and west of the Nashville area, and then things will die down leading into Thanksgiving itself. Here is your incoming temperature outlook for the next 7 days. Your incoming outlook. I like that. 67 degrees will be your temperature for most of us today. 67, 68, 72 tomorrow, 66 on Friday, and then upper 50s near 60 on Saturday and Sunday.
8:35, steer clear traffic for you at I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard as you make that drive out there near Cane Ridge and Antioch. Still dealing with a disabled vehicle there on the shoulder. Still waiting for some help out there. Other than that, all of our other situations have cleared up out there this morning. So we'll continue to watch it, let you know what we find, give you fresh drive times as well. That's all coming up in a few.
8:35 is your time. Okay, we've all turned back the clocks. We're seeing less daylight at night, a little more in the morning, but this change of season can really take a toll and trigger something called seasonal affective disorder, impacting millions of people.
This morning, we have Emily Runyon here with us this morning. She's a licensed psychotherapist here in Middle Tennessee with Middle Tennessee Wellness. Thank you so much for joining us here. We appreciate it. What is it about this time of the year? Is it simply the loss of the light, or is there something deeper?
Yes, so seasonal affective disorder impacts about 5% of the population, and it is related to the loss of light. It affects our body rhythms, our melatonin and our serotonin levels can drop. And so a lot of people find that this time of year is more challenging for them. You know, they feel more sluggish, down, less motivated.
So symptoms, right? If you were watching our segment this morning and thinking, oh gosh, well, I feel sad in the winter, but do I have seasonal affective disorder? What are some symptoms that might help them know?
So the difference between a regular kind of sad day and symptoms that might qualify as seasonal affective disorder are more persistent feelings of hopelessness, malaise, fatigue, loss of interest in things that they normally had been interested in, that persists for several days.
When do you know the difference between when you need some help from a therapist versus, you know, I just need an afternoon at the park and I'll feel better? When do you know you've crossed the line there?
So if the symptoms seem to persist for a long time and you really aren't able to do the things you normally would do, you're finding yourself withdrawing more from social situations, or not doing the hobbies or engaging with the things that you normally do. So that would be a good time to consult a physician for possibly medication help and or a therapist for therapy.
Okay, and then real quick before we let you go, powerful ways that you can feel better, things you can do.
Okay, so we kind of need to act our way out of depression, which is hard because when you're feeling depressed, you don't want to. But taking time to exercise, move your body, and have gratitude, feel joyful thoughts. Those can be helpful things.
All right, Emily Runyon here with us this morning, a licensed psychotherapist with Middle Tennessee Mental Health. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Well, everyone needs help from time to time, and that includes the local leadership in Robertson County, who's trying to come together to help provide meals to families this Thanksgiving. We're going to tell you what you need to know. Plus, there are dozens of dogs that have been rescued from a hoarding situation in South Central Kentucky. We're going to tell you exactly where you need to go if you're trying to help them recover.
This is him knocking over my...
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Live look and steer clear traffic right now. I-65 north of Nashville up by Dickerson Pike. Still seeing that steady stream of traffic backing up. Not yet to like Vietnam Veterans Boulevard or anything like that, but just know that if you're north of town and you're about to come down through the main corridor here, you're going to see a slowdown. We're going to check in with steer clear traffic and Justin McFarland again in just a few minutes.
We're also going to check in on your forecast. Greg Bobus taking us time to just breathe there and reflect. So we got your weekend outlook here. It's going to be a lot cooler this weekend. Temperatures only reaching the upper 50s, lower 60s there, and the temperatures are going to drop off into the upper to mid 30s there. So watch out for the bit of a frosty overnight. Calm but breezy, not worried about rain, which is unfortunate because we could use some. Greg will be back along in a few minutes to tell us about our next chance to get some of the rain coming up here in just a few.
New this morning from Smoky Barn News, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, they're going to have a lot of families that will have trouble putting a meal on the table this year. Local leaders in Robertson County and surrounding areas are hosting free Thanksgiving dinner events. So here's what you'll want to know. Coming up on November 16th, they will have a Thanksgiving potluck at 11:30 at the Robertson County Senior Center. Coming up November 17th, we have a beef stew fall fundraiser. All right, that was going to be at the Byram Porter Porter Senior Center in Orlinda. And then on the 18th, we have a free Thanksgiving dinner. That's going to be provided by Oasis Church in Hendersonville from 1 to 3. And then finally, a community Thanksgiving meal coming up on November 19th, hosted by Temple Baptist Church in White House.
Well, new this morning, the Animal Rescue Corps says that there are dozens of dogs that are safe this morning after they were rescued from a hoarding and breeding operation that happened in South Central Kentucky. Now, the group says they responded to the request from the Hart County Animal Control yesterday with nearly 60 dogs, large dogs they were able to rescue, and some puppies as well. Some of them just a few weeks old, and the puppies and their mothers have been placed into foster homes. The remaining dogs are now recovering at their rescue operations center in Gallatin. Well, if you need an alternative to all the Black Friday chaos, we may have just the thing.
Helping you find a little zen on your Black Friday. We'll tell you about the state parks that are offering different hikes coming up on that Friday.
At Cracker Barrel.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It's 8:46. Ticket quotas are illegal in Tennessee, but it turns out there's a gray area here. You know, a lot of towns will take the money they make off of speeding tickets and then use it to help pay for city operations. But when is depending on ticket revenue to feed the budget crossing a line?
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino is investigating at least one Tennessee town that appears to be depending on ticket revenue to fund its entire police department. Kelly, what are you finding?
Well, Justin and Jen, the town of Petersburg, which is 1 square mile, about 500 people, is expanding its police department, going from 2 officers to 5, but with the expectation that the PD would write enough tickets to fund that expansion. Now, the town is struggling financially, not able to support doubling the police department's budget on its own. In a public meeting, the police chief said he aims to make the PD, quote, self-sufficient, meaning not relying on citizen tax dollars.
Our end goal is, like I said, just to be self-efficient, sufficient, and to be basically an easement on the taxpayers and the city to where you guys can funnel money that you're normally budgeting for us somewhere else. But just case in point, I've written 18 citations in one shift. Mark's written 26 in about a shift and a half. So the probability of us just writing 2 citations per shift is not going to happen.
Now, during that same public meeting, the chief handed the town board a chart outlining anticipated ticket revenue if officers wrote a certain number of tickets. One line reads, citation expectations are 9 per shift, or 288 citations a month, totaling about $46,000 a month. Now, the town board passed that police department expansion based on those numbers. I can tell you, since we started inquiring about this story in late July, about a month after that vote, Petersburg tickets count turned out well below that chart's projected numbers for the next few months. The chief says residents want more police. He says he's just trying to make the road safer, and he says he has never handed down a ticket quota. However, in Tennessee, the law says that you can't require or even expect officers to write a certain number of tickets. We've got this whole story and the entire audio from that public meeting on fox17.com. You can listen and decide for yourself. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. 8:48 now. Let's talk to Greg about the forecast.
In that we will. Taking a look here downtown. We're taking a look at Lower Broadway here in Nashville. And everything is this typical morning routine that we've got, where a little construction happens on a few of the honky-tonks. We have the beer trucks that are out there. Everything clears out, and then we get everything settled for the brand new day. And we're getting closer to the weekend. This is going to be a very active one. The weather's going to cooperate for almost all of it. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are in the upper 40s and low 50s. They'll be there each and every morning for you, even during the commercial break. So I don't show you a current temperature map. I'm not going to waste your time. All of our eyes are going to be always looking forward. We're clear. Where's the rain, though? We are in a drought, and we'll get brand new drought numbers tomorrow. So I'm not going to show you last week's drought monitor, the whole map thing with the colors. No, we're going to get a brand new one tomorrow. Just know that nothing is on radar today or tomorrow that we have any real Chance to see rain for. Looking at your lunchtime, you will be in the middle to upper 60s later on throughout the entire afternoon. Might even hit the low 70s tomorrow, but look what happens after that. Temperatures drop going into the upcoming weekend. The best chance for some rain on Friday will be in the afternoon. It will not last long. You will not get a ton, but it's our best chance until next week.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out near the airport. That is where we are dealing with slowdowns on both sides. You can see I-40 as you make your way into Nashville there from Mount Juliet and Hermitage. You got to slow down as you approach Briley Parkway, those left 2 lanes there. But then on the other side of the interstate, you got another type of slowdown as the backup from the mid-morning flights at B&A are starting to roll its way onto the interstate itself. So we're seeing a bit of a backup there. You can always use 216B to steer clear, or if you want to skip this altogether, Elm Hill Pike will go a lot of the same places that I-40 does at this particular place in time. We'll continue to watch the roads here as we're live and local with you through 9.
It's 8:50. Not everybody enjoys the chaos of Black Friday. That's why Tennessee State Parks will be hosting their annual Day After Thanksgiving hike. These are guided or self-directed hikes that will happen November 24th. All ages, all abilities, everything from easy strolls to rugged excursions.
I thought rugged excursion was the mall. I thought we were trying to get away from that. Well, among the many options are a hike to beautiful places like the Crystal Falls at Pickett Memorial State Park. You can head out there. You can also take a 2-mile hike at the Bledsoe Creek State Park and a few more around the Mid-State area as well.
Yeah, park leaders say just make sure you bring good shoes, bring a little day pack with some snacks, some water, so that you are hydrated and fueled out on the trails.
Check the weather, please.
That too, yeah.
Don't be caught off guard.
Hey, in your community, fans of country singer-songwriter Melinda Lambert helping raise about $7,100 for Metro Animal Care and Control. Lambert put her boots up for auction, and then the money, more than 70 pairs of cowboy boots and all at Casa Rosa, the money went toward MAC. She says they sold all those boots in about an hour.
Nearly 40 workers are shorted a few dollars on their paycheck. We're going to tell you how it's igniting groups who are advocating for more worker protection here in Nashville.
At Hoffman Brothers, our experts.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning at 8:55. A recap of our top stories. Nearly 40 local construction workers claim they're owed more than $50,000 for work they did in Germantown.
Now, a workers' rights organization is now calling on local and state governments to pass better laws to try and protect these workers. We're talking about 37 carpenters working on a project at the Rome building in Germantown. They say they have not been paid since February.
We reached out to the developer, which is Greenpoint, the contractor, which is Associated Construction, and the subcontractor, Elevate Concrete, for a response. So far, no response. But if you want a full breakdown of the story, we have it at fox17.com.
8:55 your time right now. Taking a quick look. 68 degrees later on today, partly cloudy, no rain until Friday in our forecast.
All right, thank you so much, Greg, and thank you for watching Fox 17 News this morning. America's Steals and Deals up right now.